Yo.
Hey, welcome to the new meta, episode 184.
184. No technical difficulties to be had.
Zero.
At the moment.
You know, I'm going to start something. This is welcome to the new meta, season 2, episode 1.
True.
Yeah. Season 2.
What
There was a little
buffs did we
downtime for
get?
production.
What's the seasonal theme?
I don't know.
Oh.
What could our seasonal theme be?
Dang. I hope it's colored circles. You know,
Colored circles?
Yeah, like the best seasonal theme from D3. Has it been that long?
Oh.
Come on.
Are you talking about, well, I blocked that one from my memory.
Yeah.
We'll talk about season 20. I played it. I played a lot of it, actually.
Okay.
And a lot, but season. I mean opening weekend. But I got my seasonal journey done, so you know, I got some input on it.
Okay. Good for you. Oops.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. So people asked every day of my life, when's the next episode of the new meta?
Really?
Are you guys gonna do more?
What have you been telling people?
Well, I told him that you're kind of a jerk and I don't like you anymore, so we're not doing the episodes.
Yeah, fair. Super fair.
Yeah. No, in all reality, it was just a hiatus. It wasn't even planned. We were just like, I got some stuff going, you got some stuff going, and then we just didn't talk for 6 months.
Yeah, we didn't even like get together and say, hey, you know what? We should just like maybe like pause because, you know, D3 is just like dying or like D4's not until June. We didn't even have a conversation. We literally haven't talked since like episode 183 until like I texted you, what, 2 days ago?
Yesterday. Yeah, 2 days ago. Yeah.
And I was like, hey, you want to do a podcast? And you're like, yep. And that was
I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, that's it. That's all it took. It didn't take a lot. It was just like, you text me, yo, and I'm like, what up? And you're like, podcast Thursday? And I'm like, yep, let's do it. That's about it. So
yeah, it's
a lot. I mean, okay, we're gonna get into D4. We're gonna get into the D3 season. I think maybe Lost Ark stuff just a little bit.
Okay.
The other ARPG with Sneaky Steve had a big last APOC had a big expansion come out, which I wish I was more prepared for on this podcast, but that's something we can maybe hit on briefly. But before we do all that, the hell have PChild and Fluff been up to for the last 6 months? What have we been doing? I finished my stream room, which people can probably tell a little bit.
What's different?
So I got all my sound tiles up. You can't. I made this not necessarily as a stream room, but this is the ultimate gaming room. For me, I made it because I'm not streaming that much anymore. I'm working a full-time job, so I was like, what things can I put in here to make the baddest office / game / whatever? So behind me here, I have it's actually covered with a blanket, but I have a really expensive Chase lounge with a monitor that's mounted to the wall that can swing out. I have cables, like this is legit. I can't reach it because my headphones will.
Is this for Immortal?
But it swings out. I have cables that run through the wall all the way back around to my gaming machine. I bought a new 360 hertz primary monitor, which I'll get into that fiasco later. I took my old gaming monitor and mounted it there, so it's legit, man. I can just hop on that thing, bad boy, sit back, slide the monitor out, play games, man.
Couch co-op.
So, it's pretty good. It's pretty cool setup. So that's since the last podcast, I think I've done. I don't think I had any of that stuff done on the last one. I don't know.
No, I think I remember there being like a wall that wasn't done. So that's definitely different. Yeah. Everything's different, I think. So
yeah, it's pretty dope. Yeah, maybe someday I can give a world tour. But and then just gaming, man. I'm still playing Classic like a madman.
Okay, Classic. I did not expect that.
I'm still playing Wrath Classic. There's a reason Wrath Classic was the height of World of Warcraft subscriber count. It's if you have people to play with, it's a lot of fun. It just is. I got friends that play. We're kicking ass, taking names. I'm doing arena, raiding. I'm just having a blast in it. So I play WoW, and then I play a little bit of every other thing. Like I've tried the new Hogwarts game. I've tried I don't know, you name it. I've probably played a little bit of it.
Yeah.
So
nothing has changed.
Nothing's changed. No.
Slut.
I am still a gaming prostitute. Yes. What about you? Tell me about every country on the planet.
Yeah. So if you guys, first of all, if you haven't been following me on Instagram, what are you doing? Lord of the Fluff. Look me up. Second of all, yeah, I was just like, you know what? We have a date for Diablo 4. It's going to be June. And I got to get all the traveling out of my system that I can possibly do before then, because I do feel like I'm going to know life it. If it's good, I mean, we'll see this weekend. Shoot. And we'll get into that. But wow, since episode 183, I went to London. So I went to the UK for a couple weeks, worked out there. I saw Coldplay at Wembley, did a bunch of London type things, did a bunch of parties. It was fantastic. Loved it. Met a bunch of cool people. I came back for, I want to say like 3 days, and I went to ARC in Chicago, which is like a music festival. I was there for the weekend, came back for like 3-4 days. The Dance Fest, which is here in KC, it's a big festival as well. And then as soon as I was done with that, like 3 days later, I flew out to Lima, and I worked in Lima, Peru for about 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
And just hung out there.
You just work remotely, or are you okay.
Yeah, worked remotely. Just hung out and checked out what Lima had to offer. And then I went down to Ica for a couple days, which is like their huge desert. And
no idea what Ica even is.
Yeah, so it's like a massive, like these sand dunes are like the size of like the Colorado Rockies. Like
where is Ica?
Ica's like probably 2.5 hours southeast of Lima.
Okay. It's
not like a country. It's just like
I don't even know if I could name all 50 states on a blank map, Fluff. I'm just being honest.
Okay.
Just saying.
And then I got done with that, did sandboarding, stuff like that. It was really, really fun. I went back to Lima for like a day, and then I flew out to Cusco.
Hold on. I'm going to back up. Sandboarding?
Sandboarding, yeah. It's like snowboarding, but on sand. It was
really
sick.
Let me ask a question.
Yeah.
Did you get sandpaper by the bits?
I bit it really hard.
No, that's not what I'm asking. Did you get sandpaper by the tackle box?
I didn't.
Did you get sand? Do you get sand
everywhere? I get sand everywhere.
So how does that not like grind? Like that's got to be uncomfortable, right?
It took like 3 showers before I felt like it was all gone. It was in every orifice you can possibly imagine.
Yeah, that doesn't sound pleasant.
And so then I am doing the Inca Trail hike, which is like a 4 to 6 day hike, however long you want to make it, up to Machu Picchu, which was incredible.
Did you live out of a backpack? Like who carried the tent?
Yeah.
Did you do it by yourself, or was this a group?
No, you're actually not allowed to do it by yourself. So you actually have to go with local guides. They're called chatskis.
Okay.
And they literally carry all your shit. So
I
didn't have anything to carry, but there was like other Americans on the trip, and they had like these like 15-pound battery packs. And you're like, God damn, dude! Like,
right? They have some Karens, and they'll like carry my luggage.
Yeah. Luckily, there's a weight limit you can give to them, but like people are really pushing that boundary. And I even had people be like, "Oh, since you're not using all your weight, can I like use some of yours?" I'm like, dude.
These guys, I'm picturing these poor guys carrying this stuff up.
Yeah.
And
then I got done with that. Immediately went back to, I want to say Cusco. I don't think Cusco's right. It's the sea. Anyways. And I motorbiked the Amazon for like 4 days.
That'd be fun.
And that was intense. And oh my gosh. Remind me to tell this story later on, because I know we have a podcast question of like something that happened that was crazy.
Okay.
Stuff happened crazy with Amazon. That was fantastic. I came back.
I'll jot that in.
Yeah. I came back like early mid-October, and I did a Kansas City tennis tournament. Like I basically just trained for like a week, and then did this like league/tournament. and I won that men's age 35 through 45.
Damn, only a week and you're pro.
Well, I mean, I was playing, up until like August, and we had the podcast. I was playing like twice a week, every week. I was playing like all year. So I was still pretty hot at that point. And then Halloween was here, and we won a Halloween costume competition in Kansas City. That was pretty cool. And then I immediately went out to see Deadmau5 and Red Rocks, because that was really cool. And then maybe 3 days after that, I went down to EDC Orlando, which is another big, huge music festival. Did that for the weekend. Came back 4 or 5 days. Went to Dream State in Southern California. And then 4 days later, I flew out to Indonesia to like check out Bali. Basically, I heard so much about Bali, and I really wanted to check it out. Not only as like to see it before it like maybe gets like just over the top, out of control, and no longer a really cool destination to travel to, but I also wanted to like see what it was like to work there, because the time would have been like 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. like for our time, right, to like work on the clock. Yeah. So I was like, I wonder if that's going to be just like really annoying, or is it going to be great? But then right before I went, my job was basically like, hey, we know you're going to Indonesia. Just take the time. Like, we know you're out of vacation days. You got all those mapped out, but just take it off. I was like, hell yeah. And so I ended up doing like way more in Indonesia than I thought I was going to. And they did a bunch of island hopping and Nusa Penida and all that stuff. Crashed pretty hard one of those days, but so 3 weeks after that, I flew out to Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka was my big motorcycle trip for the year. I motorbiked across Sri Lanka for about 2 weeks, and then got deported from India back to Sri Lanka. Came home, maybe home for 2 days. Go down to Florida to see my family.
Got deported.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
There's a story here.
There's so many stories.
There's a story. How do you get deported? What did you? Oh my God. Were you doing illegal substances, Fluff? What's going on here, man?
It's not even like that cool of a story, really. I accepted a non-criminal.
People don't want the weak
deportation.
Shit.
I just accepted it because to travel within India, right? So my flight home from Sri Lanka got canceled literally 17 times. And so I was like, I don't know what to do to be able to keep a flight from Sri Lanka to Kansas City. Like, everything keeps getting rerouted. I was actually losing money because like a lot of these places were just giving me like credits back. Like I have like $540 worth of Air Asia credits that like they're going to expire in like 180 days. And I was like, this is stupid. So I was like, the only way I could get a flight to stick was to plan a domestic flight in India from like Bangalore to somewhere and then to Singapore. And to travel within India, you have to have a visa. And so I had applied for a visa because I knew this was coming. I'm a well-traveled person. So I had planned so that an India travel visa lasts 180 days. And I was going to land in India at day 160. And I was going to have 20 days left on my visa before it expired. And I don't know if that's just like a really weird thing to do. Like people don't really plan ahead. It seems like the majority of people kind of just apply for a visa like 5 days before they go. And so I don't know if it was partially because of that, but I landed and there were like 6 guards and they're waiting for me. And they're like, are you, Brian Von Kiefer? And I'm like, yeah, that's me. And like, come with us. And then they sat me in this like airport holding cell for a good hour and a half before like anyone came in to tell me what was going on. And then they came to tell me what was going on, but like they didn't speak English very well. And so they kept saying like clerical error. And I was like, and I had a copy of my visa and like it just, for some reason, nothing was clicking. And so it was like, we can't let you travel in India. And if you like try to leave the airport, we're going to arrest you. So I was like, okay, what are my options? She's like, well, you can either fly back home out of Bangalore, which there's no flight that night, or even like in the next 2 days, it was going anywhere like important. So I accepted a non-criminal deportation back to Sri Lanka on their tab. And then I had to find so it ended up being, so it's supposed to be like 31 hours of flying, and it ended up being 64 hours of flying just to get back to Kansas City, which was awful.
At any point, did it ever cross your mind, like, I might not make it home? I might get stuck here for a long time.
Stuff like that doesn't really, I don't know. I don't really panic it ever. I'm always just like, okay, like shit's happening right now. Like, let's figure it out first. And then like we'll figure it out, whatever later. So it didn't really cross my mind I was going to make it home. But I'm the big thing I was worried about is, I travel on the cheap, and like this ended up costing me, I think, I want to say like $1,100 out of pocket just to get back home, which isn't that bad, from Sri Lanka to Kansas City. Yeah. But it still was like way more expensive than I wanted it to be. But yeah, that was my birthday also. So I got deported on my birthday. You're deported on your birthday.
Well, if somebody ever asks me if I know anybody that's been deported, I can now answer yes.
That's me.
Yep, I know a guy.
But yeah, I came back home. I was home for 2 days. Went out to Florida to see the fam for Christmas, and then immediately went to Dallas for a festival called Lights All Night. And then the night.
Did the fam move to Florida permanently?
They are moving right now.
Really?
Actually,
mom and dad are moving out there.
Yeah, mom and dad.
What about the lake house? They keeping it? Are they selling it?
I think their plan right now is to live in the lake house during the summer and then go down to Florida for the winter.
Smart plan.
Which sucks because that makes like the lake house unusable for me. But
yeah,
anyway. Right. But yeah, I went to the Lights All Night Dallas, and then like the night 2 of Lights All Night, me and my best friend, we flew down to Tulum for New Year's, and then like Zama Festival and like all the crazy shenanigans that happened like the early January. Basically, I mean, like literally partied for 9 days straight. It was pretty insane. I've never felt older in my life. Came back 4 days later. I went snowboarding, Crested Butte, Colorado, beautiful. And then came back for 3 or 4 days, and then I had an opportunity to. This was actually really cool. So I was asked to basically film a motorbike crew in Colombia. So like they'd seen some of my Instagram stuff, and at first they asked me to come out to Peru and just like film some more motorbike trip stuff. And just like kind of pump up their brand or their motorbike rental company, basically. Mm-hmm. But what ended up happening is it's this huge conversation turned into me being basically like a motorbike filmer for like 4 models. And so I just followed basically 4 models around on their motorbikes and filmed on my motorbike and did that for like 20 days, which was incredible.
Where at again?
Colombia.
Nice.
And I also did the last city hike, which is like a really actually pretty tough hike, 64 kilometers inside the rainforest of Colombia, 4 days to Lost City, which was incredible. And then came home, snowboard Keystone, and then last Monday I'm back, and I don't have anything on the docket for quite a while.
So you've been gone for 6 months, basically.
Yeah, literally, this is my first entire week home since August of last year.
It's funny because I just look at BNet, and it'd be like, Fluff has been away for 6 days, 7 days, 13 days, 20 days. And then it'd be like, Fluff's online. And then it'd be like, Fluff's away 3 days, 5 days, 7 days.
Yeah.
So that was your little counter. Sounds like a good time, man. So what was the coolest? Of all the places you went, what was the coolest?
It's pretty hard to beat Sri Lanka. Like Sri Lanka was such a, like when I think of proper like exploring adventure, it's really what it felt like. One, because Sri Lanka is going through this huge thing right now. It's like an energy crisis, right? So if you're a citizen of Sri Lanka, you can only get 4 liters of fuel per week, period.
Okay. It's not much.
It's not much at all. It's like barely enough to even fill a scooter tank. So,
right.
So that was tough. Like finding fuel was really tough, and that's not supposed to apply to tourists. But A, not a lot of people knew that because there's no tourism happening right now.
Yeah.
And B, they didn't even have the fuel to give me, even if they wanted to. So like, just finding fuel was such a hassle every single day, and it was like annoying. Like while I was in it, and it was really tough. But like those are the things you kind of really remember. And then the motorbike I had was such a fucking piece of shit. It broke down every single day. Something happened to this stupid motorbike. I had my rear tire like literally just stuck. So I had to like take off the entire rear assembly and just turn it around so it would like go forward but never backwards. It was such a nightmare, but it was an epic adventure.
How did you turn it around? You had tools on you?
I mean, I had like a wrench, like there's always those toolkits
that pouch fit under
tools. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then people were really, really friendly. So like I was maybe an hour into trying to take it off and someone pulled over and he had like a proper kit, but
now you're sitting there for an hour like, fuck me.
Yeah, dude. I was so mad. I was so, and all these roads are like, these are desolate. Like no one's on these. Like I'm maybe seeing a farmer every hour. And, but honestly, like it was kind of all work. Like at the end, towards the end of the trip, I was, one of the reasons I picked Sri Lanka is because there's like so many wild elephants. And, the whole time I was like, I just want to see an elephant. I just want to see an elephant. And I saw one like on a safari, like my second day. And that was really cool. But I envisioned in my head, like just driving on a motorcycle and just like seeing some elephants sometimes, Yeah. And finally, like my last day, I was like on this teeny tiny dirt road. It was like a trail. I was like, how is this a fucking road? And I saw this, like what I thought was a rock in like the corner of my eye. And then I like stopped because there was like this big gap in the road. And I was like, I'm gonna have to like, I don't know, get some speed and like try to clear this. And then the rock just like moves towards me. And I was like, oh shit. And it's like this huge bull elephant. And it was like,
he's like, I'm hungry.
His ears were like flaring and it's like, hey, I'm like, oh God. But that was incredible. I just like stayed there, turned out, cut the engine. I just like stayed still. I mean, I was pretty lucky probably, but I was ready to like rip a wheelie and just like turn that thing around and just fly.
And the bike that breaks down.
Yeah, right there. Like, da, 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 da.
You pull the wheelie and the handlebar rips off. You're just like, fuck. I'm done.
So,
I'm done.
It's awesome.
That's funny, man. Well, it's been interesting. Mine's been a lot less eventful, than yours, but I'm glad you're going through your 20s all over again.
Yeah,
I'm proud of you.
My vision quest, if you will.
Yeah. Your midlife crisis.
Life crisis.
Yeah. Let's talk gaming. We got a bunch of shit.
Let's do it.
Start with a poll. I don't know if we had a poll at episode 183.
I got it pulled up.
Okay, what did we ask? I don't remember.
Let me pull up the big screen. God, it's been so long. I don't remember any of these buttons.
It's been so listen, in 6 months, Fluff and I completely forgot how to do podcasts. Literally. We're like, how did we do this? I don't remember.
I don't even know. I don't know how we do it now. Anyways, so back in August, I'm sure all of you guys have been dying for the results of this poll. We asked, what are your thoughts on Path of Exile's upcoming Lake of Kalandra? That's how long it's been. Is Lake of Kalandra was the upcoming league the last time we had
4 leagues ago.
But yeah, oh my God, Poggers, 53% of votes. So
how was it? Did you play it?
I got to play no, I didn't get to play it at all actually, because it was right after I went to London. So I didn't even touch the thing. I haven't really got to touch any of the new leagues.
Yeah, you haven't played anything, have you?
Nothing. Yeah. But yeah, that's that poll. If you guys are curious.
All right. Congrats.
And then the poll for next week is New Meta Podcast Question of the Week. What class are you starting beta weekend 1? Rogue, Barbarian, Sorcerer. Go ahead, tweet that out.
I already know what's winning this poll.
Really?
Yeah, I think I do.
Just because it's new or what?
Yeah, just because it's new.
Okay.
Why wouldn't you?
Well, okay. Well, I have something to say. Here's my thing. I actually am a little superstitious. It's a thing, right? So in Diablo 3, I started a barb, and then eventually became the undisputed best necromancer to ever grace the game of Diablo 3. So I'm worried that if I don't start a barbarian in D3 or D4, that there's a possibility that maybe I'll break the.
So does starting a barb? Does that mean on launch or beta?
I think just playing it first is what matters.
But you already played the demo in 2019. What did you play?
Barb first.
Okay. I think I went Druid.
I'm first. Out then? You think I'm curious? Like I don't have to worry about it then?
I think you have to play Barb day 1 launch of D4.
Fuck off. Can you imagine the uproar the internet would have if I had played anything but Necro? I would be uproaring myself. It would be out of control.
I don't know. The assassin looked cool in the trailer they dropped for the BlizzCon line, right? So I'll probably check that out. I played Barb. We played Barb and Sorcerer back at 2019. I'm sure they've changed a lot since then, but we'll jump in and give them a try.
Yeah.
So
I was if you had asked me a week ago, what are you going to play? 100% Rogue. because it's new. It's right. Like we talked about this time and time again, like the things we're most excited for in D4, just the new stuff like Druid, Rogue, the new skills on the classes, the stuff that we've already seen recycled is kind of like, ugh.
It's a little disappointing, to be honest.
Super disappointing, yeah. And even just looking at the Necro skills, the Necro skills came out since we've been gone, and literally half of them are recycled D3 things, and I'm just like, man, I just do not have any interest in that. So I'm still gonna play Necro. There's no question about it. But I was just like, man, they're not even like picking the fun skills. Like Corpse Lance it's not even there. Like there's a lance.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I don't know what will be. We'll have to see. So this beta is such a limited sample set. We're capping at level 25.
Yeah.
The actual level cap for D4 is 100 unless they change it. But last I read, it was 100. Mm-hmm. So we're at a quarter of our maximum power. We're probably going to be missing skills. I know we're missing the Paragon tree or talent tree, which I don't remember. I think it's called the Paragon tree.
Paragon board.
Yeah, Paragon board. Whatever it's called. We're missing the Paragon stuff. That's level 50, I believe. So with this very small sample set, you can't even expect balance at level 25, right? I wouldn't. No. I think if they're trying to balance level 25, they're crazy. Like that's a wasted effort. I mean, you got to have things in
feel like
range.
They landed on 25 because maybe that was like the most balance they could like.
That's the most balanced the game
had,
is.
Right?
No, there's no way. There's no way.
Maybe.
Oh, God, I hope not. So this is my hope for this, and I think the next beta they're going to have all the classes open. So I would love to jump in and play lots of them and see like what appeals to me. What's my favorite. I don't know how long it's going to take to hit level 25.
Yeah.
If it's going to take a couple hours.
I'm kind of guessing it's going to be like you'll probably be there if you play all night. You'll be there like Saturday morning. That's what I feel like, at least.
Saturday? Oh, no. I don't think it'll take a day.
You think? No, like less than that?
So 25? Yeah. I hope leveling's not linear. I hope it's exponential, right? So the time it takes you to get from 1 to 25 isn't the same that it's going to take you to get from 25 to 35, right? It's going to take more time. So I would expect 25 to take 3 hours, 4 hours, maybe.
Okay.
I think that's just a guess. I'm just, that's my. I think this is probably where they're going to go. But we'll see.
That's probably true because they're planning the World Bosses day 2, right? And it's like 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. or something like that.
Yeah. Why aren't those just on a spawn? Like, why set times? They should just randomly
appear.
People
to like be ready. They should randomly appear like when the game comes out. But like, for beta, like this one, like probably want as many people to like be in those World Boss zones as possible.
Yeah. So maybe they're trying to stress test and see how their matchmaking works for it as well.
They're gonna let players, like bad players, even be like max level. So you're probably right. It's probably like 4 hours.
I would say with the world boss, I was kind of hoping the world bosses would just randomly show up outside of those times too, and I get the impression they won't. But hopefully we do see them again, because if not, that specifically makes me like, okay, I have to log on at this time. And it's like
there's 4 spawns on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm gonna play a lot, but what if I forget? What if I'm in the dungeon midway and I'm like, oh no, world boss time.
That's what these games are all about, the FOMO. Like you gotta log in every day. Yeah. You gotta finish your dailies.
Yeah, if they put a daily login reward,
there's gonna be like all these games have that.
There please don't.
There's gonna be. We're gonna talk about stuff like that in a second.
That's so mobile, dude.
Yeah.
But as far as classes, I hope to play a lot and test stuff. I'm probably gonna jump rogue out of the gate. I do. So I'm gonna switch topics slightly and say I do want to stream it. I'm planning on streaming it. You broke my cam,
I guess.
But I 100% tried to. I was gonna test stream a little bit last night. And it ended up when I
sorry, continue.
I can't see anything.
You're going gray. I don't understand.
Technical difficulties. Fluff is breaking stuff again. When I tried to start streaming, I didn't have my capture card hooked up.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, let me hook my capture card back up. And I hook it up, and then it wouldn't. My fourth monitor wouldn't work. And I'm like, what the hell? So I'm like, that's fine, whatever. So the new 360 hertz monitor breaks everything, by the way. Like Windows, my graphics cards, it's like I got a 3090.
Why would you go 360? Like your eyes can't even see over like 138 or something.
You actually can tell a difference. Okay. As stupid as it sounds, you really can.
I think it's placebo.
The problem is you can't hit those rates very consistently in most games. But anyways, monitor's amazing. I love it. Don't regret it at all. However, at 240, like, I don't know. Anyways, I got it. I dropped it. So my capture card only does 144. I dropped my monitor's speeds down, right? So my capture card works. Everything is cool. All right, good. I go to all right, I'm not going to stream now, just testing. I go to turn my shit back the way it was so I can have my lounge chair monitor back on.
Okay.
I click a couple buttons and my computer just bricks. It's nope. It just won't go back to my original settings.
So the game that PC or the stream PC?
My gaming PC. My gaming PC is absolutely not. And so it took me 4 hours to get my monitor set up to work the way I had it prior to hooking my capture card up. And it ended up having to turn the monitors on in specific orders to get them to all turn on and not brick the computer. So now I'm like, damn, if I turn the capture card back on, it's going to take me 4 hours to fix it again. So yeah, anyways, new adoption, 240 hertz runs fine, but 360 breaks shit. So I'm just letting everybody know out there, if you get a 360,
all you millionaires in chat, just donate instead.
G-Sync does not work at 360. It breaks even though it's a G-Sync enabled monitor. If you turn it on, randomly, it'll black screen for a second or two and then come back, and it's a G-Sync issue. Reddit and myself figured out. So, but yeah. Anyways, I don't even remember where I was going with this about streaming. Oh, so yeah, I don't know. Streaming the things. Friday night. I'm going to start off Friday morning and probably play some before I stream Friday night. So I think I'll start with a Rogue at launch. 2 p.m. No, it starts at 11, right? It goes live at 9 a.m. No, so it's 11 Central for us.
PDT or whatever.
Yeah, that's Pacific time. That's West Coast time. So it's 11 for us.
No.
How do you travel the world and can't convert time?
Bro, I swear to God, if I'm right now.
No, you're so wrong. You're so wrong. It's 11. I don't know how you travel so much and can't convert time. This is the same guy that fucked up the Quinn invitation by a couple hours too. Quinn's like, hey, you guys ready to go live? And we're like, yeah, in 4 hours. And Quinn's like, wait, what? And Fluff converted the time.
That is correct. I can confirm it is 11. Why did I think 2 o'clock? God damn it. I was gonna work early. God fucking damn it. I was gonna take the afternoon off. So so it goes live at 11. So I'll probably play one character and then I'll create a new one for the stream later. Gotcha. So you'll cheat.
All right. So what do you want to jump into? We got lots of stuff to go.
First up, we're just going to talk about the editions, right?
Okay.
So if you pre-purchase, we'll say this one, and there's 3 different editions. Okay. The standard edition, which comes at the low price of what, $79?
Is it 70 for the lowest one?
I think it may be 69. What is it? Let's find out. Oh my goodness. Blah, blah, blah.
Verify your birth date.
1938. Right. Good news, right? Well, I know that. Okay, well. Okay, here it says.
You want me to check? I haven't bought it yet.
Go.
Let me look.
Go, Gadget.
Pulling it up.
Oh, yeah. Chat just confirmed. $69 for the first two.
$69.
So $70 for the base game. Going up by 10 buckaroos.
I mean, that's the new console price for those PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X games. Some of them, not all, but some of them are going to $70 now. Yeah.
So there's joints too. Blizzard's not leading the greed.
They're not leading. They're not leading the charge, but they're definitely following. Second in line.
All right.
So
remember when games were $30, $29?
Oh, shit. Yeah, when we were 10. Yeah.
But yeah, so that one comes with an Arius pet, blah, blah, blah. Rage Mount, which is a cool thing. Umber Winged Darkness cosmetic set for Diablo Mortal, which I know everyone is super excited about. And then the Lightbearer mount. But the important thing, and the reason I wanted to bring it up, is the Digital Deluxe Edition comes with 4-day early access to Diablo 4.
Yeah, that's so scumbag.
Who is not in their right mind just going to pay 10 extra bucks to play 4 days early? I don't know.
I was having this conversation earlier today. Even I was talking with a buddy, and everybody's hyped about D4, and so they're like, "You gonna play?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, of course I'm playing." And he's like,
"The $20 extra.
How much sales did they get off of this early access beta that you have to purchase?" Right. Millions and millions.
Yeah, easily and
easy.
And this so obviously D4 is like a huge game. So Lost Ark also offered the same thing. You could pay to get in. I remember it was like 2 days early, maybe.
Yeah, it was something. Yeah, and I didn't do it. I refused because I think it's morally stupid. But Diablo 4 is a little higher
like
for me.
500,000 sales of the early.
Yeah,
which is
and that's the only reason.
Crazy money.
Yeah, so they're gonna make an extra. Was it $10? What are they getting for this? 10 extra
20,
bucks?
20 apparently.
$20. They're gonna make an extra $20 million off of that 4-day decision.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I feel like this is just gonna be the standard going forward. Like all these games are gonna have early access.
Yep.
But
I don't like. I personally don't like having to pay for beta access, and I personally don't like the early access.
Yeah.
I think it was a scummy practice. The first time I remember it being a thing was Marvel's Avengers. It was the first one that I really remember.
How old is that game?
I want to say 2019, 2018. Okay. Something. It's a couple of years old now. Maybe not quite. But I remember thinking they did a beta, and then you had to pre-purchase the game to get in, and it was pretty crap. Maybe Anthem might have done that too. But I remember that was kind of the start, and I was like, who wants to do that? But I ended up. Oh, it wasn't Marvel's. It was Anthem. I remember now because Marvel Avengers. Yeah, Marvel Avengers gave it out for free, and I remember playing and thinking, "This game is dog. Man. I'm not going to buy it now."
Yeah.
Right. So that cost them a sale because I would have bought it prior.
Yeah.
But yeah, Anthem. I think it was Anthem that did that. So.
And then the last thing is the Ultimate Edition. Is the one that I got. It is the Accelerated Seasonal Battle Pass. Includes a premium battle pass plus 20 tier skips and a cosmetic. And then on top of that, you get a Wings of Creator emote in the game of Diablo 4.
That's for the Ultimate?
That's for the Ultimate.
Is that what you bought?
That is what I got. Figure why not,
I haven't purchased one yet.
I'm putting all 23 on black with this game. If this game sucks, it's just like, well, I'm a POE main. That's it. That's all it is.
That's the only thing. That's the thing that I keep saying. I was like, I haven't seen anything yet that makes me think this is the fucking game. That this is the game, right? I haven't seen anything that makes me think it's gonna suck really bad. I've seen things that are scary.
Yeah.
But I haven't had that definitive moment of like, yeah, it's done. Game's over. It's bust, right? But I also haven't seen anything that makes me go, this is going to be awesome after the first 3 weeks are going to be fabulous, right? New game, new story, new characters, can level to max on a couple characters.
Yeah.
The end game won't be stale because it's going to be new-ish. But then 3 to 4 weeks in is when we're going to be like, okay, I'm literally running dungeons over and over and over.
So here's the thing. I am with you to an extent. I almost think that the launch of the game barely even matters because it doesn't launch with seasons.
I agree for 2 reasons, but go ahead. I agree with that.
Because honestly, not only will the seasonal theme or what happens every season, God, let's hope it's not a fucking seasonal theme, but what happens every season is going to be the true dictator of what this game is. So if the game comes out and we're all having a great time, I'll still be on edge. I'll still be like, I'm having a really good time. But if the season 1 comes around and it's 3 circles on the ground, I'm gonna be like, fuck, fell for it again.
I don't think they're gonna do seasonal themes like Diablo 3 at all. Personally, I don't think they're gonna do these crazy modifiers.
Yeah, they better not. They better have content.
I don't think so.
Content.
Yeah. I agree. I hope it's more like PoE style content where they're adding things to the game. I hope they already have a handful of those things complete and they're just not going to ship them with the game so they can start funneling them in every season, right?
Right.
I hope the seasons are 3 months max.
Right. They've already said that. They've confirmed that.
Yeah. Well,
they've said we plan on 4 a year. They literally said that.
They say that, but they got to deliver on it too.
Obviously,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my thing is the launch doesn't matter that much because everybody's going to be hyped. What matters is, like you said, the seasons, and then also listening to community feedback.
Yeah.
Right.
Making the changes they need. Right. Exactly.
How fast can they implement community feedback? Are they listening to community feedback? Right. And then also, how far out is the first expansion when they can actually really iterate? They can look at the game and say, okay, we nailed this. We missed really bad on this. We're going to fix this with either a seasonal theme, or a big patch, or an expansion, right? I think the first major expansion or patch is going to be a real telling sign if the game's going to be good. The game's not going to launch perfect. There's no way. No. There's no way that they're going to hit everything, and that's fine, you know? But if they don't listen to community feedback,
as solid as, you know, whomever it is they pick for these testers, which I'm sure were fantastic, like there's just no way, like even if you're the best player in the game, like something's going to slip through the cracks, like, and you've got like you know, maybe 30, 100 people testing whatever, like something's going to get through. So something's probably going to be broken.
I don't really mean bugs or like exploits. Like that's fine. Like people are going to find ways to cheese. There's no way that you're going to see some YouTube video 5 billion trillion XP an hour doing this, farm this mob and like log out with your buddy or something, like something stupid. That's just not fun, right? That's okay. I don't mean that, but let's just say itemization is just wonky. It's just off. It's just like, this isn't fun. Okay. So we give the feedback, the community as a whole, and I don't mean streamers. I don't mean like the community as a whole is like, itemization is poor. How can they take that feedback, analyze it, spit out something, let us reiterate on that, you know, and then implement that in the game. Right. So, and are there tools, are there designs, are they able to make changes quickly? Like that was a problem we had with Destiny, is players would give feedback and the devs and community would say, yeah, that's really cool. It takes us like months to implement these changes because our engine and our tools just don't allow us to work that fast. Yeah. So if it's the same thing, it's like, oh yeah, it takes us, you know, 3 days to render a playable build. You know, it's like, okay, we'll compile a render a build. You know, it's like, okay, well,
and there's so many changes. There's so many layers to like what we would expect and desire to see in that season 1. Like obviously, you know, we don't want a seasonal thing. We want like content, like Path of Exile does, right? It's not a seasonal thing. It's like additional content that's added every season/league, right? But on top of that, yeah, we want to see them make these huge patch notes that like fix a bunch of bugs and like maybe improve certain things. But also want to see like, okay, maybe the skills trees shift around based on player feedback. We want to see like the Paragon board, like, you know, we want to see like the patch notes that are like Path of Exile, 100 pages.
Books.
Yeah,
we want
like,
books.
I want to like click next page on like a 500-page website, like. Yeah.
Just scrolling down for days, you know? So, yeah, I'm with you on that. And it's also, I also am very leery of the power level. Like, look at how the power level is in Diablo 3. In order to make stuff better every season, what do? It's more power. Yeah. And I'm not knocking on the devs for that. They don't have a lot of choices with the way the game is right now. But I don't want D4 to be zooming across the screen. Like, Path of Exile is like that, too. You're just blasting through content as fast as your eyes can read the screen.
I mean, the past 4 leagues, you could make an argument that they've tried to get on top of that, but
yeah. Since I've played, yes, but in D3 is like that too. Right. I don't want that in D4, at least not out of the gate. I hope that they can. I hope they have some plan moving forward to make content that's fun, yet not have power creep that's absolutely nutty. Yeah. Right. And that's the thing. Like, how do you handle power creep in a game? I don't have an option. Like, I don't have a way to say this is how you handle power creep. Destiny tried sunsetting old gear, right? To make way for new gear, they tried to sunset and remove old gear out of the game. Like, they're like, after 2 or 3 patches, the item no longer works, right? And it's like, okay, so you get this shiny new thing and it works for this season and next season and the next season, and then it's gone. Well, then your character's broken if you haven't played in 6 months. So people hated that. They absolutely lost their minds. I don't think it was that bad of a deal personally, but people lost their minds. if you don't make something more powerful than the previous season, why would you play that? Is another answer. So I don't have a solution to power creep.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they don't even have to power creep for it. Hopefully just like change skills, add new builds, stuff like that.
Does POE power creep? I mean, I would think historically there's been power creep.
It kind of happens when people like discover builds that are OP. Like that's how Path of Exile kind of power creeps, and then people like get super involved in those like 5 new builds of the league, and then like sometimes they don't get nerfed, sometimes they do get nerfed. It's like the power creep is like super different, I feel like, in Path of Exile, because it's not like it's an intentional thing that they're doing. It's just like there's so many millions of possibilities of how like a build could go that people stumble upon these like overpowered things, and then that's kind of power creep. But anyways, it's pretty wild. But do you want to go into maybe like what we should expect on the Diablo 4 beta? Or...
No. Let's talk about the box real quick. We haven't talked about the box, the collector's box.
So
this is crazy. This is so crazy.
The fourth version. There's a fourth version you can buy. It is the Diablo 4 limited collector's box. Of course, historically, you would think, wow, this is the top one. This is the one that's going to cost like $200. It's got a whole bunch of like physical things. It's going to like be mailed to you. And I'm sure people have bought it. Even though it says in bold here, no game included, I guarantee you someone out there is thinking they're sitting pretty, getting their collector's edition day one.
Okay, I've heard the excuse. I've heard the justification for this is that way people can buy whichever edition of the game they want. That was the reasoning that I heard for it. It's the ultimate edition. You give the highest level of the game everything. With the box. What?
That doesn't make sense. No.
What are you talking about? Ridiculous. It makes absolutely zero sense. You make a box with the PlayStation version. You make a box with Xbox. You make a box with Battle.net key, right? Like, I don't understand, man. It blows my mind, man.
It's weird.
Like, I don't know. It's interesting.
It's not as bad as the like when what was it? You win like a
you win a Switch if you post on your Switch. Yeah.
You win a Diablo 3 Switch if you post you playing Diablo 3 on Switch. So
yeah, I was like, that what?
Nowhere so near stupid. That, but
it was so stupid. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so I put a link in the schedule. I don't know if you saw it for the Diablo store. Did you pull that up by chance?
Okay, I can just like go to the store from here.
Yeah. Or just hit home on the Diablo store, and then click on the Diablo tab to go to the main page.
Yes. Diablo tab.
That's not it.
Diablo.
There it is. Yep.
Okay.
So look at that Tyrael statue, and look at the price.
It's Inarius, bro.
Inarius, that's what I meant. Look at the Inarius statue, and look at the price.
No fucking way. Are you serious?
Fuck. Yeah, and you know what's crazy? They sold out of them.
Stop.
They sold out of them. $1,100.
For what?
For a statue. Now listen, I'm not going to judge people on their hobbies or their collections or whatever you're into, okay? I'm into some dumb shit. Like, I spend money on dumb shit. I get it. $1,100 is absolutely crazy to me. It's nutty.
That is insane.
That is some insane money for a statue.
$1,100 for a statue. It's a
I listen. There's collectors out there. I know a guy that bought 2 of these. I personally know a guy that spent $2,200 to buy 2 of these statues. 2.
So like one for each night table or something.
He said he was going to flip one. I think because they're sold out. I'm like, people will pay more than $1,100? He's like, yes. This guy that I know is a collector of video game memorabilia. Okay. So he does like any collector's edition of a box for a video game that comes out, he buys one. Like he has literally all of them on a shelf. He usually buys 2 or 3 and then he flips them. I told him he's a jerk. But it's crazy, man. I can't believe...
That's insane.
Anyway, I just like, if you're a statue collector, I'd be interested to know how that fits in the scheme of like what you're willing to pay for a statue. If this is your thing, is that nutty, or is that like, oh yeah, that's reasonable?
Right.
It takes a lot of effort and work to make it. It's I can't imagine they're handcrafted. They got to be molded, and then maybe they're paying somebody to hand paint it. Maybe.
When you sent me this link and I looked at the price, I'm like, in my mind, I'm not a big fan of stuff. Like I am like a very like non-materialistic person, but like $400. This is like where my mind went. Tops.
Yeah. And we saw the Lilith statue at BlizzCon. You remember the Lilith statue at BlizzCon?
Yeah.
It was dope, right?
Like the
$600. Yeah, $600, right?
Yeah.
This is twice that. So
yeah. Is this?
And it was cool.
I'm thinking the Lilith statue that was like person size. What?
No. It's 26 inches too, so 2 feet, right?
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think that's the one right there that they sold. I'm not sure.
Yeah, probably.
Anyways, let's jump into.
Derailed. I can't even believe that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So if you guys don't know, there's this game, Diablo 4, mom and pop indie game. It goes in the beta tomorrow. What we can expect. You kind of touched on it already. I didn't actually read this article. Did you read a lot of this?
I wonder what they're talking about, like what they want to test. What they want us to test? Stress test.
They want us to do like
character abilities, bugs,
the world bosses, obviously.
If you play, you get rewards. That's cool.
So, how do you feel about this bull wolf pack thing here?
I think it's lame. Personally, it's stupid. I could give a rat's ass about it, but I just have it just to have it, right? Because you're like, oh, look at this. I played beta, right? That's what it'll be. The thing about the beta rewards, you don't have to play the private beta this weekend if you didn't buy the game.
Right.
You can play the open beta next weekend and still earn all these rewards. Right. So that's kind of cool. That wasn't a cash grab that they could have done, you know.
And then they get this PC beta rolls over to the next beta, and like, you know, there's a whole your characters share, like, I forget what it's called, the World of Warcraft system.
Where it's rolled over?
The renown.
The progress
system. Renown.
Oh yeah, the pairs. Yeah, so there's a couple things to touch on that. First, the PC specs. This thing will play on a potato, so that's good. Their recommended specs are like a 970 and like a 4700K or something, which is hardware from 2000. Literally, I have that computer built. I gave it to my son and then gave it to my daughter. It's like third party hand down now.
Is that 4 cores?
Yeah, it's a 40. What does it say? I can't read that. It's too small. 4600K.
70.
Yeah, it's a 4 core, I believe, maybe 6. But I think it's 4. But anyway, it's literally 2013 hardware, so it'll run on a potato, which is cool for a lot of people. We should have, and I actually applaud Blizzard in that.
Yeah,
I hope on my current hardware
console. So
yeah, well, true. I hope on my current hardware there's enough settings that I can really crank shit up and make it look crazy good, though. You know, and I think it will. It looked good in the demos we played. Yeah. But as far as the systems go, so they have a system. I think you called it Renown? I forget the name of it. I think they have like a Renown system, and it works like an account-wide reputation system, from what I can remember. Where let's say you're in the starter zone and there's a faction there, and you go do dungeons or do quests or do whatever.
Yeah,
you're gonna gain reputation, and at different reputation levels, you'll get different rewards like Paragon points, money. Maybe unlock cosmetics, I don't know, but those things are rollover account wide,
right? And shared between characters.
But the progress is independent on each character, from what I understand.
Yeah.
So if I log in and I get half a level on one character and do another half on another character, I still don't get a point. I have to complete it the whole level to unlock the reward on a single character. But it is account wide. I don't know how I'm curious how the Paragon points will carry over. I guess you just make a new tune and you just have Paragon points sitting there to spend.
So. Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
But yeah, as we're talking about, do you want to get into like as what we know so far about?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
So I made this list of kind of what I would itemize as like what end game is, quote unquote, in Diablo 4 as far as we know so far. So as of right now, this is kind of the list, and you can agree or disagree, whatever. But this is kind of like, I don't know, my best guess. So first and foremost, we have the world tiers, right? So we have at least 5 we know at the start. There's Adventurer, which literally no one probably in chat right now should start Adventurer. I guess there's going to be 2 tomorrow. There's going to be Adventurer and Veteran. And Veteran, you get 20% XP bonus, and you should just do it. If you've ever played a video game in your life, you should apparently just do it. Like, don't do Adventurer.
If you've ever played a game,
literally, like that's what everyone.
You know what would be funny is if Veteran just kicks our ass tomorrow. We're just like, yo, okay,
from
just
Diablo
kidding.
Listening right now, like,
they're like, oh fuck that, we're turning this up.
But yeah, so 20% XP bonus tomorrow. You should definitely play Veteran. I've heard that it's just like Adventure is like a total joke. And then there's Nightmare, which I guess is supposed to be the difficulty you're going to be at post-campaign, and then Hell, and then Torment. So
Torment.
Right.
The return of the Torment.
Right.
Someday
I hope that they keep making names instead of saying like T1,
No,
T2,
we're going to have
T3.
Torment 13, Torment 16, guaranteed.
I hate that.
Well, didn't they use an original Diablo 3, wasn't it called Diablo? It wasn't Torment. It was called something else.
Like Monster Power.
Yeah, but they had levels. It was Inferno. It was Inferno.
Inferno original.
Yeah, it was like Inferno, and it went up to 6, I believe, was the hardest. Because I remember clearing Act 3 on the hardest difficulty on some really crap build, and it took me hours. Like it was like a tank build with no attack. So I was just like whittling stuff away forever just to say I did it. It was like, oh, this is the hardest. And it was so lame. But yeah, I hope they don't stick with Torment 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be.
I also don't love calling them world tiers. I don't like sharing any kind of verbiage.
That's a Division thing, man.
That's also a Diablo Immortal thing, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so like sharing anything with DI, I think is like. Ugh.
It's a Division thing that they stole from Division, and obviously that came out way before Immortal. So I wonder if that was an influence on Immortal as well. But they with their PvP system, it's interesting to see because they 100% stole the PvP zone from Division. I mean, it's system for system. But so I'm not surprised that the world tiers exist. I don't know how I think world tiers. Think about the world tier as in leveling the campaign in D3 and just turning the difficulty up, though. Yeah, that's really all it is.
But it's like a thing you climb, like you're trying to get to the top.
But you climb difficulty in D3, so it's kind of what we already know. It's just
exactly. It's like
a new twist, an old new twist on it. Right.
Exactly.
So,
but it is end game, quote unquote. That's why I made this list. So number 2. I called it like open world stuff. So like we know there's like strongholds. I don't think strongholds would be end game. I think, well, maybe they will be. I don't know. Maybe they're replayable in some way, or like you're supposed to do one like as a daily quest or a weekly quest. I don't know. And then like events, like I would kind of consider like the events that happen in the zones are kind of like bounties. I guarantee you, in some way, shape, or form, we're gonna have some kind of bounty system. That's just probably gonna be a thing. And I know with both of these systems, I think we get the shards that we use to gamble. So like the gambler person's back, and we can only get his stuff or her stuff.
Is it going to be named Kadala? Is it Kadala? That'd be horrible.
I hope it's like Kadala in the exact same voice lines from Diablo 3.
I don't hate Kadala, honestly. In D3, I don't hate Kadala because I do think she gives you a way to target items. But I think there's a lot better ways that they could implement targeting of items other than gambling them from Kadala or a Kadala-like feature. They're copying so much from Division. Division had a system where if you took the map and you laid all the zones out, they would have different items drop from different parts of the zones that were on a randomizer. So every day when you logged in, a different event or different location would have chest pieces from a specific vendor or whatever, right? Do I think that was amazing? No, but it was definitely better. It was definitely a way to target something. If you're missing that one piece, you're like, okay, well, today it's on something I like, so let's go blast that activity, right?
Right.
Better than gambling, in my opinion, but just barely. So
yeah. And then we kind of touched on this one already, but the renown system, it does give you stuff. Like it gives you like skill points and stuff like that. So it's not something that's just like achievements.
You're going to have to do it. For skill points, you're going to have to do it for every faction. So I don't know how I feel about that either. But
Why not? Like force people to do all the content you made for the game, I guess. Like why not? Especially the first time around. They could change renown later on.
Yeah, if it's account wide, it will go to all your characters. You only got to do it once.
Yeah. And maybe
it
like
on
in
how
the
many
future
they put
seasons, there could be like, well, maybe the first tier gives you a skill point, and then like the ones after that is just like cosmetics. You're like, oh, every season I have to do it or something.
Yeah,
maybe. But we're already thinking of like just shitty game mechanics. So, I hate that.
So like, okay, so to talk about the renown system is literally a reputation system that many of us are familiar with, but specifically World of Warcraft does a reputation system, and Wrath of the Lich King, which is the current expansion and the best expansion in my opinion, is known as
is the current expansion.
Well, classic. Sorry, my bad. Nobody plays that shit. Wait, so what you do? The renown system in WoW, the reputation system, it is highly utilized in Wrath of the Lich King, and you wear tabards, which when you go do activities, you get reputation for that faction by wearing their clothing, right? I don't like it. It's not a great mechanic. It's not something that you go, I can't wait to do this. I'm enjoying doing this. This is a thing. To me, I just put the tabard on and wore it and then randomly would check, oh, hey, I'm exalted. Cool. Let me get a different one and put it on. I'm done. And just cycled through them. If they do something like that in D4, I don't know. I guess it'd be okay. But again, that's a 12, 13-year-old mechanic in a game in an MMO, right? It's not an ARPG mechanic in my opinion. So,
and I would go as far to say is like, I don't know. It kind of feels like they were struggling to find things to like kind of fill the void of content in D4, and so there's like, well, we know World of Warcraft has all these things that we could just like kind of take for now. I don't know. That's what it kind of feels like, because we're going to touch on a lot of these, and I'm going to be like, hey, PChild, tell us about this, because it's like World of Warcraft.
Because it's a war thing. They're really embracing the MMO side in this. I believe it's being marketed as an ARPG, but I really think this is going to feel a little MMO-ish, similar to Lost Ark. Like Lost Ark is an ARPG, but it's MMO ARPG, and I feel like this may fall into that category at the end of the day.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. So. And then next up we have Whispers of the Dead, which are basically bounties, as we know them from D3, and world quests. And I know, again, this is the only time that your stupid, noobish World of Warcraft knowledge has actually been useful on this podcast. But tell us about world quests. Are they good? Could they be good for Diablo? No. Okay.
I don't. Could they be good for Diablo? I don't know. Are they good in WoW? I don't know a single person that says, "Man, I can't wait to log in and do world quests." But I also hate bounties in D3, and I know some of you listening are going to be like, "I love bounties." You're an idiot, right?
Ban them.
There are a couple. There are a couple people that do like bounties.
Take them out.
Yeah. So. Will some people like this? Potentially. Could they put a twist on it and make it good? Maybe. But if it's implemented like World of Warcraft, you log in, you hit the M button to pull your map up. You hover your mouse over the little icons that appear on the map. It tells you what the quest is and what the reward is going to be. And you decide if you're going to go do it or not. Every single time in World of Warcraft, the item you get is a piece of shit, and it's lower. It's literally scales based off your item level, but it's lower than your item level by default. So you can never get anything really good from it, which is silly. So if it's something like that, the rewards have to justify the effort.
Yeah.
More than likely, you'll go do bounties and world quests to buff your renown. You know what I mean? Like those two systems will tie in.
Okay.
Would be my guess.
So Whispers of the Dead, I don't know anything about world quests other than what you just described, right? And so the next thing I have on this list is they're called Hell Tides, which are assaults / invasions from World of Warcraft, which I know literally zero about.
So I don't know how this relates to WoW so much. So I'm trying to remember. Honestly, it's been a while since I've read about the Hell Tides, but I think it was some kind of event where, to me, it kind of seemed like, remember Breath of the Wild, when you were playing Breath of the Wild, and all of a sudden the blood moon would come up and it would do that whole thing, and then new enemies would appear. I related it to something like that.
Okay.
Where it's like you're in a zone and something's going to trigger the event, and different enemies or more powerful enemies appear. You're going to kill them, pick up some shards off the bodies, and use those shards to unlock a chest for a reward.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I know you can't die during these. If you die, you lose your shit.
Shards, yeah. So I don't remember. I didn't remember that. So that's the mechanic. Then cool too. But that's kind of how I took it. I don't know. We'll see how they play.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything in WoW that really mimics that. I think that honestly felt like a Breath of the Wild steal.
Next up is world bosses, which we all know about. We know. I think they mentioned they've announced 2, right? And there's gonna be 3 at launch. I think is what they said. So there's the greed guy, and there's the was it Shava, with the winged person that killed us in the beta or the BlizzCon, or killed everybody basically.
It was cool. It was cool.
I hope Saturday. Sorry, I hope Saturday that if it is a Shava, which I'm pretty sure it is. I don't think it's the other.
It is. It's the same one we fought at BlizzCon. Yeah.
I hope it fucking just murders everyone. Like no one even kills it. Like no Shava dies.
Yeah, so at the time when we played a Shava at BlizzCon, Lost Ark had not come to the US yet. Right. Mm-hmm. You and I had both played, unfortunately, super unfortunately.
Agreed.
We had both played Lost Ark in Russia or Korea or either or. And so it really warped my mind on how gameplay mechanics could be. And it made me feel a little bit less excited about the way Diablo 4 played at BlizzCon.
Yeah.
And I remember you echoing that as well.
Of course.
The boss did some telegraphy moves, which were kind of Lost Ark-ish. Yeah. I remember, but it wasn't a thing where I was like, oh, this is like really, really cool. It was just like, yeah, there's like 7 or 8 of us beating up on this guy for a long time, and then he died.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a couple got one shot, right?
Yeah.
So
I remember other people describing it. Like I remember like everyone's like, oh my God, like you go up to a Shava and like your camera zooms out and there's like 30 people and they're fighting with you. And again, I think both of our experiences would have been exactly the same. We would have been like, oh, poggers. But we had played Lost Ark.
And Lost Ark does that. They already have it.
Yeah.
They already had it in there.
They did it better. So
yeah. So and it was like, and we play in Lost Ark's combat still is so good.
Oh yeah.
It's so damn good. And I had this crazy, really ludicrous dream that I was going to step into D4 and it was going to be Lost Ark-ish style combat. And when it felt like D3, I was, to be honest, I was really disappointed.
Yeah.
I tried to not let that come through because, I shouldn't have expected that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it was Diablo. It felt like Diablo 3.5.
Right.
So.
And I think that's one of my biggest concerns, like going into tomorrow is, both of us have shared the sentiment of like, remember the first time we played Lost Ark and we just literally like, there's no reason to even kill mobs because they get no experience outside of quests. But all you want to do is kill shit because it's just so fun.
It was so good.
And Diablo 4, just like, it was like, it was like early D3 gameplay. So it's like you're kind of using your main attack and like you're trying to generate resource and then like sometimes you spend the resources like fuck.
Yeah, that's a great way to describe it. It was like go make a new character on Diablo 3 with no paragon and stuff, right? And no skills. And you're like level 1, 2, 3, 4. You're running slow, whacking things with a left click and bending resource to do seismic slam once. Yeah. It's like, oh, and it wasn't, but like you said in Lost Ark, man, you set up combos out of the gate. Out of the gate, you're just stunning people and then winding up this big smash. And when it felt so rewarding.
Even your auto attack feels good, which you don't really use that much. It felt so rewarding.
Right? Yeah. So I don't know, but it's been 4 years. You know what's super funny is I think about this all the time. Remember in 2019 at BlizzCon, people were like, I think you and I probably said it on the pod. We probably said it together in person, definitely on streams independently. When do you think it's going to come out? When are you guys think it's going to come out?
Yeah.
I fucking jokingly said 2023 as a joke.
Not jokingly say 20.
I was like 2023, and I was thinking like realistically, like 21, 22, maybe late. Like 22 is so far off, right? Here we are. It's damn near 2024. Right. It'll be, with no pushbacks. Halfway through 23.
And we say like, we don't really know what to expect tomorrow. But I honestly, like all the gameplay I've watched for this game, it's like they give you like the ones you can watch like through where it's like it's 5 minutes of like constant gameplay. Like these cooldowns are like 20 fucking seconds. So it just seems like super duper slow. And I feel like tomorrow, like until we're max level, it's gonna be kind of brutal as someone that like is, an ARPG player.
And the thing, I don't think we're gonna get a good feeling of the game, even though level 25. Think about if you went to play Diablo 3, right? And we capped you at level 25. What if we even capped you at 40, right? Like you're missing so much shit. Like you don't really. That's not the game that we play at the end. Like it's not the game, right?
Yeah. And I'm not expecting it like, I don't want to like come across as like, well, if I'm not like, spamming, Ingyam with Blood Rush and like killing everything on screen, like I'm not happy.
Well, no, I don't want D4 want D4 to be that anyways.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, totally. But I just don't want to sit there like hitting.
I'm excited. Like I'm really excited to play it. And I don't want to come off like I'm not excited. I'm just saying,
expressing concerns. It's not like
I'm just saying like in game, if you've listened to anything I've said for the past 4 years, every time they're like, P, what do you want to hear about? What do you want the next blog to be about? In-game activities and itemization. That's it. That's literally, I probably threw PvP in there a couple times too. But those are the things, in-game activities. We still don't have in-game activities to me that go, oh, damn, that's going to be fabulous.
Well,
that's going to be fantastic.
Yet, P. I mean.
Okay, let's get to this list then.
Yeah, so back to the list. World bosses.
So we're beta testing non-in-game.
Nightmare dungeons, which are basically greater rifts comboed with like Path of Exile's kind of endgame system. So, but we can manipulate instead of like Path of Exile, you kind of just like roll, like you like spam a chaos on like a map or something like that, or like do the long craft, which no one ever does in PoE. But you get like affixes, and it sounds like we're gonna be able to kind of control that. I don't know, in Diablo 4, like we're gonna be able to like really hone down and craft like a perfect key or something like that. I don't know. But
I don't know either.
It sounds like Rift. It sounds like Rift, but basically cooler and more complex. Let's hope.
Yeah, so it's like that reminds me of mapping in PoE, right? That's the system you think they're going for?
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like to me too. The thing that I wonder is, do you know how now in Diablo 3 you can log in and do a set of bounties and then give them to your favorite streamer?
Yeah.
I've never done that. I've never participated in somebody giving me bounties at all, ever. Wow. I've never done raffles on my stream for months on months. But I wonder if farming these perfect keys is going to be a thing where it's going to be like, hey,
share it with your perfect.
I'm going to share this. I'm going to share this with my favorite streamer. I'm going to share this with my buddies. Let's make a community called key sharing. Let's make a community called key it forward, whatever the case, right? And it's going to be like, you're going to sit in trade chat or sell them, right? So I can sell this perfect key. So it makes me wonder how that system is going to play out, right?
That's true.
So,
I mean, I would expect,
selling them is okay in my opinion in game. If there's an
even
auction
getting
house
in like a
system,
like a community that's like, hey, I got 3 spots, but everyone in the joins has to have their own key, so we get to do like 4
it's like ancient puzzle rings or like whatever, right? Like we do now,
right?
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to have a community system in Diablo 4 like they have in Diablo 3.
Yeah,
I think the community channels. I actually think that's a pretty cool feature unique to Diablo that other games don't do as well. So I hope something in that nature returns for D4.
But that's a good call out. So that's Nightmare Dungeons. Next is Codex of Power, which I actually kind of forgot about this one completely. But allegedly there's like 140 dungeons in the game. And when you complete each one, there's a reward for doing it the first time, which is basically like adding a legendary power to your Herodric Cube that you can use on your character. But it's like the shittiest roll imaginable. But still like, it's like...
Instead of being a good cube, it's a bad cube.
Yeah, right? But in a great way. Like, how many seasons have we been Paragon like 800 before we get like a Crisbin sentence? Like this completely solves that. Right. So I think that's good. I do like that, and like 140 dungeons. That's pretty cool.
That's a lot. Yeah. That's a checklist to mark off, right? So,
so that's that. I doubt you'll have to repeat all 140 every league season, whatever.
I mean, don't doubt it. That's content, baby. Right. There's 100% chance you're repeating all 140 every season, dude.
Maybe.
I promise you.
And there'd be like a speed runner where you have to do all 140 within like the first 30 hours.
Oh my god, that'd be horrible. Yeah. What if you failed it by a couple minutes? Oof. Oh man.
Yeah. See you next season.
Yeah.
PvP obviously is an in-game activity. Although it sounds like, as far as everything I've read, PvP, like the rewards are just cosmetic. So it's kind of like, just like, I'm better than you.
I wouldn't mind them having PvP gear and like having a separate system like WoW does. I mean, if they're going to put it in the game,
I don't know.
Put PvP gear in the game too. Like maybe that's all you want to do. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel. I really would love a good PvP in Diablo 4, but Lost Ark kind of skewed me a little bit. I thought PvP in Lost Ark was going to be more fun than it was. When I played it, it was all people edgelording the screen. And then in Diablo Immortal, it seemed like it was the same too. It's like you have people just sitting at the very edge of the screen, baiting. And as soon as somebody landed a stun or somebody used a cooldown, then it was like, boom, the whole team collapses on them. That's not really fun to me. Like that wasn't a fun style. And some people like it, I'm sure, but to me, I was like,
I definitely hope that there's not PvP gear, unless there were like arenas. But open world, I definitely don't like. I'm all for normalization. I think that, like, you know, if you play Halo Infinite and you're like a total noob, there's like a 1% chance you can still kill somebody that's like really, really good if you just like do the right thing. And then there's not, because you shouldn't give like really good players better loot so that like the noobs just stand 0% chance of winning. I don't think that's a good system. So I don't think there should be PvP gear unless there's arena. But
yeah, I'm conflicted because I think I've played both, right? So you have your games like your shooters, right?
Yeah.
Most BRs are random find loot, right? And then you have games like Overwatch or something, for example, where there's no loot. You just have your character class. But then PvP and WoW, you definitely can get gear, and it definitely matters on your character's power. I think it's a little too influential in WoW. I think they should tone the gear back in PvP slightly to where it doesn't, because somebody in full gear can totally mess up and still win the fight. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, they popped cooldowns at the worst possible time, and they still kicked my ass. So I would like to see that minimized some, but also at the same time, if that's all you do, like let's just say PvP is fun, and that's all we do. And it's like, man, I gotta go run this and this to get these items to go PvP. I'm okay with that too, but I can see the appeal for having PvP gear. Yeah. So if I were to lean one way or the other, I would lean against it just because I think it can cause more problems than it could fix.
Right. So. But I also, flip side of that coin, I don't want to see a situation where like, I do want most of the focus to be on PvE. Obviously, I think the ARPGs are more geared towards that. I do think PvP can be really fun, and I think Lost Ark PvP was good to an extent. And but I don't want to see it to be like where they all focus on PvE, and then like a year from now, like it's like a battleground like Diablo 3 has, where it's like it's just there because like it's an option, but like you go in and you get one shot by like something looking at you.
I don't know, man. It's weird. I think PvP is a unique to each person. I love PvP and WoW. I enjoy it a lot. I enjoy Battlegrounds. Battlegrounds and WoW are this super casual PvP. I can just log in randomly, don't have to have a group, go do some games, maybe get stomped, maybe stomp some people, but it's fun for me. But I find myself these days more and more, which is odd, just enjoying FPS games instead. Like if I want a PvP, I go play Overwatch, I go play Apex, I go play something else. And then if I want to grind, then I go play WoW or Diablo or something. So I don't know. We'll see how they implement it. I do like that they stole the Dark Zone and Division was an amazing concept that they didn't flesh out as well. And I hope that the WoW team learns from their mistakes since they're copying it almost one for one, and we can make it good.
Right. So. Let's play this while I was doing that. Yeah, so that's PvP is obviously one of the things. Also crafting and gathering, which is not really like endgame per se. I mean, crafting definitely could be, but gathering.
I didn't keep up on the crafting announcements if there were any.
So there is some.
What are they? What are we looking? Are we talking? So there's no way it's POE level, but what are we talking?
Well, we don't know like how in depth like gear crafting will be. We know that there's the occultist, and so she lets you reroll attributes like the Mystic from D3. She also lets you imprint, like legendary powers onto like rares and other legendaries. So very much like the Mystic from D3. There's a jeweler, and we don't have confirmation actually that she crafts jewelry, but we know that she crafts gems. There's a blacksmith, so you can still salvage gear. And again, I assume to either craft gear, or is it just materials for upgrading gear? Probably the latter. But he does your upgrading of gear. And then there's the alchemist, and so you'll have to do like quests and gather materials to do health pot upgrades, which would be like, I think, an active part of your season.
If they have more than one pot, I swear if they do a POE piano flask thing,
no way.
Oh my god, dude.
Diablo would not give you like more than one keybind for a pot. Like,
well, it's got to fit on console, so they can only have so many, right?
Yeah.
I don't. So it looks to me like it sounds very Diablo 3-ish. If you just look at it from that standpoint, obviously they could add depth to the blacksmith and let him, need all these things to craft items or random roll stuff. But that seems very simplistic and Diablo 3-ish from a high level glance. So
I agree, and I think that the imprinting's cool, and we'll be able to I think there's going to be more tailoring of gear that happens than in a D3 by I would think a lot, but nowhere near like the level of detail and skill that's involved in gearing up a character in Path of Exile, which is
I don't think it ever will. Yeah, there's no.
So I hope in the future like crafting will be a thing in Diablo 4, but right now as it looks like, no, it's not really going to be a thing. It's just going to be like you find stuff and then you tailor it towards your character and then you try to find better stuff. Yeah, and that's it. I don't think there's going to be like you spend chaos orbs and there's a whole lot of shit. Which sucks, in my opinion. But anyways, but two things I didn't touch on. So the alchemist will also do like stat boosts and XP potions, which I think are going to be a thing. And she also...
they're going to sell those at the store. I guarantee it. I'm telling you right now, dude.
No way, dude.
I'm telling you. I'm calling it. Listen.
No way.
Season 2, Episode 1, PChild calls. There's going to be XP elixirs for sale in the item shop in Diablo 4, the store, whatever you want to call it.
And then lastly, she makes incense, and we don't know what those are. So,
okay.
That's what they said in the past.
They're going to be damage increases.
Maybe.
Temporary for sale.
I can't assume the incense is something you would like use in battle, like just based on how it sounds. Like no one's gonna be like, let me pause.
No, it's just like you're gonna like meditate by it for it's gonna give you an hour buff
in your hideout or something. I don't know.
Yeah, was you ERPing up in the inn or some shit? I don't know.
Right. Who knows?
Oh man. I think that's it for the tier for the
Paragon
list,
board.
right?
The Paragon board, which we won't have access to, but yeah, that's a big deal. So I mean, it's not a bad list for something that's
there's things on there.
Yeah.
Again, nothing screams at me like, yo, that's hot, right? There's nothing that's like, this looks amazing. But if you put all the ingredients in the pot, it can be pretty good, maybe.
Yeah. And again, as we both kind of said, I think even as much stuff as you could have in the non-season release of this game, all that really matters, and I shouldn't say all that really matters, but what's going to be really interesting to see is season 1. What does that mean for D4? That's the
and how long? What's your prediction? I say it'll be 3 months before they drop a season.
So so June. Let's think about this. June, July, August. I don't know. I feel like we'll see, like 3 or 4 months, because they're not going to want. They're probably going to want to have season 1 line up so that they don't have to start another season before like Christmas break. So yeah, I'd say like 3 months is fair. And then you can make the argument though, is that if vanilla D4 is 3 months before we see season 1, I mean that's a fucking season. Like why not just say season 1 didn't have like anything? I don't know.
So what if the season is just a new battle pass?
Oh my god. Can you imagine?
Like, have you thought about that? What if it's just a new battle pass?
Well, I thought about that too. It's like, okay, so it's going to be a new battle pass, period, because that's how they generate.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
But I thought about like a battle pass, right? But even if it's just a battle pass in like Diablo 3 seasonal theme, where it's just like some dumb modifier that is just silly. You know what I mean? Like it's not content by any way, shape, or form. So yeah, I don't know. It's scary.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about different games battle passes because I think this is important for the influence it's going to have on D4. What works, what doesn't work, right? Destiny went to a model of seasonal content with a seasonal battle pass. In those seasonal passes, you get access to legendary items instantly instead of having to get to like, let's say you have to get level 40 on a 100 level battle pass to get it. But if you buy the battle pass, you get it instantly. I 100% see something like that. Buy Season 2 battle pass and get access to the Season 2 legendary helmet that's not in the game until Season 2.
No
right?
way.
Get it instantly. Right? Or games do that shit though, right? So, cosmetics 100%, titles, horse skins, whatever. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
What else what are these other battle passes do? I mean, it's really items. They give you items, man. All of them. Fortnite gives you items, gives you cosmetics. Destiny gives you items early. Like you can earn all this stuff in game, but you get it early.
I could totally see where like level 20, level 50 gets you, the new seasonal unique.
Okay. Yeah. But if you buy the battle pass, you could
buy it. Yeah, you could get it instantly when the season starts. Yeah.
And like Apex does that with their skins, right? It's like if you complete the battle pass, you're going to get all these things. But if you buy the battle pass, we instantly give you 3 other legendaries on top of that and XYZ. So there's going to be 100% it's going to be paid, right? There's not going to be free seasons. They're going to be paid battle passes. They'll have a free tier, and a paid tier, guaranteed.
And they'll have a paid tier that's like more. You get more than.
Yeah, I think they do. Like a lot of games have. I can only actually think of one game that doesn't have a paid tier that has a battle pass system. So yeah, you'll get more stuff like Overwatch. Overwatch is a Blizzard is Overwatch is a Blizzard product. Overwatch's battle pass, because I played the crap out of it. I maxed out the battle pass for this season in Overwatch on the free tier. Didn't pay a penny. All of the good rewards, every single one of them is in the paid tier slot. Every single one. And then when they released the new hero the season before, you had to get level 50 in the battle pass to get access to the new hero. Unless you bought the battle pass, then they instantly gave it to you.
Do we know if like D4 is going to have like foiled like legendaries and stuff like that? I don't know. Yes, right?
Foiled like a card?
Well, it's like Path of Exile. So like, you get like an elder item, you get a shaper item, and it just like looks cooler on your character sheet than.
Yeah, I don't know about those in POE. I've never gotten anything that cool. So I haven't
we know, noob.
I mean, the game sucks. So anyway,
you better stop.
Yeah, I don't know. So it's just a cosmetic difference.
Yeah, literally. I mean, that's like, well, in Path of Exile, like if something is elder, it's got like elder bases that normal items don't have. But I'm just talking about strictly appearance.
Yeah. So in D4, it would just be an appearance. I think it's a cool idea. Instead of like a primal, right?
Yeah.
Instead of a primal having stats, maybe a primal just looks cool.
Gold and shiny. Yeah. It's like a Yu-Gi-Oh card or Pokemon type thing. Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
I gotta imagine that would be battle pass tiers. I don't know, but that's easy. I feel like. Anyways.
Yeah. I wonder if they're gonna let us see the battle pass in this preview.
Probably not. I bet the shop would be closed. Do you want to place bet?
You don't think it's got something there?
Yeah. What'd you have to say?
Eliza was chiming in there. She's like, "Listen, I know it all."
What'd she say?
She said somebody was at my front door.
Oh damn.
So,
Blizzard's there. Oh God, run.
Yeah, they're like, yo, PChild, if you don't shut the fuck up, we're banning you from all of our games. Do you like your old classic account? Gone. All you say is positive things about D4.
But yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. I don't think the shop would be in. I bet it'd be grayed out.
That's gonna be the first thing I do. I swear. On when I log in, the first thing I'm doing is figuring out how to check the shop out and the battle pass if they're in there.
I gotta imagine it's not, because I feel like we would have seen like leaked screenshots and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. But is that kind of it on the?
I don't know. I'm excited. I know historically, I think I've always sounded a little negative towards D4, and it's only because I want it to be so good.
Right. And we have a lot of history with like disappointment in D3, and it's not like coming from a,
it comes from a place of love, not a place of hate. Right. I really wish the game success. I hope it's amazing.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people that worked hard on it, so I hope it's good. I hope I love it. I love it. Yeah, let's talk. I'm going to switch gears, I guess. Let's talk about the D3 season real quick.
Okay.
I know you didn't get to play it because you're traveling to Narnia. But while you're at Narnia, they dropped season 28. I think it's season 28. I'm not sure. This is by far, in my opinion, the best season that has ever dropped on Diablo 3.
What's the theme?
Okay.
First of all.
So they added in, and I already forgot the name of it, but they added in a new talent tree system.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's this little relic that you go to in Act 1.
Altar?
Altar of Rights. That's it. Altar of Rights. And yeah, go log in and check this thing out.
I'm not going to go check the altar, but I'm going to link out the leaderboards and stuff.
Well, go. The altar's good, actually.
I don't know where it is. I don't even have a seasonal character.
Well, just make
Is it right there at the beginning?
It's right there in Act 1.
Okay.
And so you do quests to unlock different abilities on this altar. And just as an example, what's your character's name there, Fluff?
Oh, Ducks. Ducks. So we go to Venture.
Yeah, Act 1.
Yeah.
It'll start you wherever, right? But
okay.
And then, so like an example would be, you have to sacrifice a weekly Challenge Rift bounty cache to unlock a node. And so now go. Yeah, I'm gonna take you to this. I'm curious to see your thoughts on this. So run like you're gonna leave town to the west. Go left. You see that thing, that glowy dot up there on your map?
Mm-hmm.
Go to that. That's it.
Okay. Look at this. You show me something in Diablo 3.
So hover over those, and you'll see. You can see what some of them do.
Okay, right? So they're not like cool things. They're like generic things.
Yeah, so they changed the game. The potions are interesting and the powers are interesting. But the thing about it is, like, you see how your sacrifice at the top says, like, what does it say? Like common mats, like 15 common mats or something silly.
Okay, yeah.
On the left.
Right, yeah.
So every time you level that up, it changes the cost.
Why would you pick anything but damage?
Well, of course, that's what you do first, right? But you want to get some of your speeds. But you can choose any path you want, but the price continuously goes up based on how many unlocks you have, right? So you can definitely F this up and do it the wrong way, quote unquote, the wrong way.
See, and this is a good idea. I love that there's actual content here. Like, they made a skills tree and stuff, but like, these are generic things. Like, I want to see like Necros get like an additional corpse when a corpse pops, or like, like more land. It's just something cool.
Yeah, it's the same. It's account wide for one. Right. It's account wide to all your characters. Yeah, okay. The potions. So look at the right potion. And it gives you a random shrine effect. It can give you a power pylon for 6 seconds. Like, it's pretty nutty on what it gives. The other ones are not as impactful, but they definitely matter a little bit. And then when
Runic
you get
circles, oh my God, stop!
Then when you complete it, if you complete it, you get a set of cool wings and stuff. I don't know if there's a way that they show off the wings in game, but it does give you some nice cosmetics if you actually complete that this season. So kind of cool.
Okay.
The season was fun, man. Like, I had a blast this season. Everything's broken OP with this Paragon board thing. It's people were doing 150s at like sub 2K Paragon level.
Yeah.
So it's a little broken, but it's that's what D3 is at this point.
Sure.
It's fun. It's actually more fun the more broken it is.
When did this season drop?
3 weeks ago, maybe.
Okay, so this will be the last season before D4 probably then, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
What is it?
They could
March,
fit in one more.
April, May, June. Yeah. They might get one more, but it's unlikely. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's sad.
So yeah, and there's not going to be a season launch anytime relatively soon after D4 launches. That makes no sense.
No, they're going to recycle probably.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say that it's probably unlikely. But anyway, it's a good season, man. I had a lot of fun with it. Okay. That's really all my comments on it. The Paragon system tree. Listen, for me personally, I know what the Diablo team is working with.
Yeah.
I know what they're working with, and I know that the guys that did this put in a shit ton of work to get this in the game. And hats off, because I think it was absolutely fabulous what they did. And this in my opinion is the best seasonal theme they've ever done. It beats the artifact weapons or whatever they were called. It was good times. And in all honesty, I completed my board by Saturday night, so it didn't take very long.
The whole thing?
I did the whole thing in a day. But I went hard. I went like 15 hours the first night.
Yeah.
15 hours the first night, and then another probably 12 the second day.
You haven't gone that hard with me, dude.
We went hard on it. I didn't stream it, which honestly that takes a little out of you too. Like just casually playing with buds was fun to do that for change. To be honest.
Right.
But it was a good time, man, and I don't know. I had a blast. So hats off to the team. I think they killed it this season.
Okay. And Frankie, we trust.
Yep. Switching other topics.
Yeah.
Jay Wilson, since we're on D3, Jay Wilson, if you don't know, was the game producer. I don't know what his title. What's his title?
He was the
game director.
Dude.
He was the guy. He was the end all be all of every decision that went into Diablo 3 launch.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
He approved or declined or said this is what we're doing, and people did it. And actually through Necromancer, believe it or not, I actually looked it up today to see. He actually had influence on the Necromancer expansion as well. So he is also the guy that said fuck David Brevik, and he's also the guy that worked on the Warlords of Draenor release, which is the worst WoW expansion ever. He's going to start a new ARPG company.
Yeah. Okay.
And a quote from this it says that we all agreed we had found the game we want to make, an action RPG with survival elements that we think players of both genres will love. This is Julian, his partner, who is also a Blizzard employee.
Okay.
At one point, said the development team's time is precious, and there's no justification for spending their time on anything other than games they want to make. And man, do we want to make this game? So it's being developed for PC and consoles, which instantly turns me off. But D4 is being developed for consoles too.
Right.
So is POE, I guess.
Right.
So
can't get away from it.
So yeah, man, I don't know.
Chat just pointed out something really stupid. GGG, what? Gas Giant Games. So you're gonna have two GGGs making ARPGs. Like,
you think that's on purpose?
I can't assume that it would be, but what the hell?
I don't know, man. So it can't be a bad thing, because worst case scenario, they produce a shit game that we don't play, and who cares, right? Best case scenario is they actually produce something good with some new, like a survival mechanics inside of ARPG. Like, okay, the genre needs a little spice.
Oh yeah.
If you can find a way to make it work, I'm about that life. Like, give me something that makes it fun to play ARPG again.
Right.
But I will say that Jay's history, personally, to me, hasn't been the best. He hasn't been the best decision maker when it comes to being the head honcho.
Let's give the guy. I mean, people can change.
Yeah. Oh, and I always like to fall back on this card. I think game devs do too. We don't know how much the head honchos and the CEOs that are in charge of finance influenced the game that he wanted to make. The Real Money Auction House, he could have been like, dude, this is dumb. This is stupid. But the powers that be were like, no, we got to make money. This is how we're doing it. Put this in the game. I don't care. We don't know. We don't know what happened behind closed doors.
We could also look at, David Brevik, and like David Brevik himself, he said publicly, like, I was like like a fucking dick to work with, and like he's definitely changed over the years. So
he said that Diablo 3 was disappointing, and that's when Jay Wilson said "fuck that guy." It was literally the quote. He said "fuck that guy." So
wrong.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So that's kind of all I had on that. So keep your eyes out for Gas Giant Games, another GGG company.
GGG.
Not related to GGG, but a GGG company.
Yes.
GGG 2. And
I had
what you got from Lost Ark?
So no Lost Ark. But Path of Exile had a little announcement trailer. It's their announcement for the announcement that they do. Their upcoming new league.
Okay.
Looks to be, who knows? Like, you never really know anything.
It's a cool looking trailer. Like, that looks cool.
Yeah, it's called
Path of Exile.
Yeah, it's the announcement of the announcement. Remember? So,
that's
Path of Exile Crucible is what it's going to be called, but the live reveal will be March 30th. Those are
not too far off, 2 weeks.
Always fun streams to watch. I do really, really thoroughly enjoy those.
Wasn't POE 2 supposed to drop before D4?
No, there was no supposed to for POE 2 date, period.
I thought when you went to like the POE Exile Con thing that I know they never announced it, but I thought the assumption was that they were going to beat D4 to the game. Maybe I'm remembering incorrectly.
I remember like we said that they should.
Yeah. Well, now it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I don't feel.
Matter, yeah.
Do you feel like it matters? I don't feel like it matters now.
My only rationale for it was like Path of Exile 2. We know it's going to be this great game. Period. There's just no question that Path of Exile 2 will be a good game, in my opinion. There's just zero doubt.
I personally feel that POE 2 has more potential than D4.
Of course.
If you asked me right now straight up, what do I think is going to be the better game? I don't even play Path of Exile, and I think POE 2 is going to be a better game.
Right. And so my argument was, like, obviously beat them to launch so that, like, people are going to play Path of Exile. D4 is a huge name, much bigger name, but people will be excited to play D4. And so that ARPG bandwagon hype would get people trying Path of Exile for the first time and then being like, wow, this is actually pretty fun. And then they jump ship when D4 comes out and then say D4 is not that great. People jump right back because it'll be like in the back of their mind, you're like, well, Path of Exile is really fun. Now you just go back to playing that. So I thought it was a better idea, but I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. And there's so much uneven Diablo's direction that scares me a little too. But
of course, but
that's a whole other podcast conversation.
Right. We can just hope beyond hope that we're all pleasantly surprised, right? Like, I don't think tomorrow. Like, I think that tomorrow we're gonna have fun. Period. Right? Like,
oh yeah, 100%.
We're gonna have this discovery, and it's gonna be like, yes, like new stuff. Obviously, we're gonna see some of the same skills, and that's gonna be annoying. But
provided we can log in.
Yeah, provided we can log in. I mean, Blizzard is good at this kind of stuff, though.
Well, the WoW team is good at this kind of stuff.
So I think that they would be having the WoW team.
We've had some rocky D3 season. Actually, this season was kind of rocky on
running
D3
on like a hamster wheel. Like, yeah,
in
dude.
the back room.
It's like a.
We'll see. I think the demand, honestly, man. Like, honestly, I think the demand. I think they're going to have 10 million people trying to play tomorrow. I really do. Worldwide, I think it's going to be.
We don't even know how many copies have sold because this is the one that's closed, unless you bought a KFC sandwich, Double Down.
Yeah, what is that? I need to go buy some Double Downs. Honestly, that's not a bad promo in my opinion, because here's the thing. If people that don't even know about Diablo could be driving through KFC, get a sandwich, and they're like, what's this Diablo game? Oh shit, I'll check it out. I heard of that. And then they download it on their PlayStation or Xbox, because if they don't know about it, they're not a PC gamer anyways. Yeah. Right? So get out your Xbox Series S, run that shit at 1080p and have a good day.
Right. I'm fine with it. Get the name out there. Who cares? And it's beta, so like it's not like people are getting the game for free or something like that.
They gave me the game for a double chicken sandwich. I buy a shit ton of them.
But yeah, that was a surprise when we saw that leaked image of like, I don't even know, was it Malthiel holding like a KFC
I didn't think it was real. I saw it on Reddit and I just scrolled right past it. And I'm like, who the fuck is that bored? They're photoshopping a sandwich in Malthiel's hand. Right. Do you know what I mean? So.
Anyways, but yeah, so super excited for this. Obviously, I think this is doubly great because this is like.
Oh wait, are you gonna play games now? Are you back? Are you like?
I was considering Thailand in April because there's a festival called Songkran, which is like a water festival. It's very unique to Thailand and that time of year. I did want to do that, but I don't know. We'll see. I think a big part of what my future is going to look like is if like this beta is just a fucking shit show, and then it's like, well, then I'm just committing everything to the POE 2 at that point, right? So I don't know. We'll see. Well, I'm obviously going to play. I bought the Ultimate Edition of D4, so there's just no way I'm not going to play it. But
yeah,
I have high hopes, and I don't want to be crushed. But we'll see. Anyways, I think I didn't put anything on for Lost Ark because I logged into Lost Ark and I have no fucking clue what's going on. I got like 60 notifications on my screen. I don't even know what's happening. Like my skill tree is totally different. It's not different, but it's like changed. And I was like, I didn't have any of my like runes anymore. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on with Lost Ark. So I was like, I need some kind of catch up guide before I even talk about this game. But
do you have desire to play it still?
I mean, I logged in and I was like, because I logged in to sort of test the stream PC because like this thing hasn't been fired up in like 8 months, and so I was like, well, we'll go play some Lost Ark because like we'll get in some crazy combat and there's gonna be like a lot of mobs, and so we'll do one of those, I forget what they're called, like a rift basically. And I was just like, I ended up playing for like 45 minutes. I had no idea what I was gathering or what I was doing, but like just fighting stuff. It's just, I mean, at the end, it's
Lost Ark's just amazing
fun.
That, man.
It's so
they do it so well, dude. Yep.
So I do enjoy that Demon Hunter that I have, or whatever it's called now. But
I think if somebody, I think there's a big market for somebody to westernize Lost Ark's combat style, if that makes sense. Because I think Lost Ark has a strong Eastern influence to it,
of course,
and I think that's a turnoff for some people. But I think if somebody took that combat style and put it in some medieval setting, I think, man, there's such
I've
a
already
huge...
said a million times. You take the combat of Lost Ark, you made it with Path of Exile, and then you just put it in a package of Diablo. It's the best game of all time.
Yeah. It's already... you just combine the three best games.
And you don't even take much from Diablo, sadly.
Yeah, maybe Steve Wilson can do that. Maybe he can steal the ideas and just make them better.
Yeah.
Let's go, Jay. Just look something up. Yeah, I guess that's it for the podcast. I'm looking over, the schedule. We kind of threw this together.
Yeah.
At first, we weren't even going to have a schedule. Yeah.
I was like, let's just do it. Fuck a schedule. And then I was like leading up to it. I was like, well, there's a lot to talk about. I'm going to go ahead and put a schedule together. So yeah. Plus I was like, I don't know, like, are we going to be so like dazed and confused that we're not even going to remember like the flow of a podcast, and we're going to be like just sitting here with our hands?
Nah, we got ESPN or something. We're good.
Yeah. Something like that.
Let's get into some PChild loves, Fluff hates. You got a hates for today? I know you got 6 months, man. You probably got 50.
Fuck, I didn't even think about this, honestly. Of course I do. I hate everything.
All right, I'll start with the loves. Okay. And I don't know if you've had time. Have you watched Last of Us?
I watched like the first 3, but I just have not had time to I mean, it's not like, wow, this is awful, but I definitely don't feel as like enchanted with it as everyone seemingly is around me.
Oh man, I love it. I think it's fantastic. I played the game. Fortunately, unfortunately, I'm not sure, because I knew the story. They followed the story in the game very well. Pretty much, to the T. That they obviously couldn't put all the stuff from the game in, but it was fantastic, man. I loved it. I think, Pedro is awesome. He's also Mandalorian. If you guys didn't know that, I'm sure you do. He's the actor that played Joel in Last of Us. So he's fantastic. I loved him. Everybody seemingly hated on the Ramsey Bolton, I don't know her last name, cast for Ellie in Last of Us. I thought she was great as well. So
like the kid?
Yeah, the kid. A lot of people were yeah, they said she was a bad cast, and I think a lot of it came because they thought she wasn't pretty enough. Because in the game she was like prettier, and I don't think it comes from like, I don't think it comes from like that place, but I think it just comes from like she's not pretty. Is like what I read a lot of stuff about, and I'm like, I thought she killed it, man. So I thought it was great. And then it's been so long that like with so many I'm telling you, we should have done a spin-off podcast.
I know
of our movie criticisms, but there's been so many. I'm gonna go back to Andor. I think Andor is the best Star Wars content ever produced.
Wow.
I really do. I love Andor. It was fabulous. And I was like, this is top-notch Star Wars content. This isn't Mandalorian shit. This isn't Obi-Wan garbage. It was absolutely fabulous.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go on record and say, since you liked it so much, I'm obviously going to hate it. But yeah, I'll have to put it on my list because I'm so far behind on everything. I just haven't even had like television.
You haven't seen it, or you have seen it?
I've not. No.
Okay. All right. We'll watch it and then you can tell me. You can tell me I'm right. So yeah, those are my two movie loves, and I'll kind of just leave it at that for now and listen to your hates.
Yeah, I mean, I got one. I mean, I have so many. Oh God. But I'll just go with one because I can use this content for weeks. This happened a lot. So, Bali is a very Instagram popular place. I was in there, November. I also went to Tulum, early January, which is also like these are probably maybe the two biggest Instagram destinations in the world. And, maybe it was a good thing for me to go there because I will say, in the 8 months that I had, I built my Instagram from like 3,000 and I'm now up to like 40,000. So I worked hard.
Nice.
But, one of the things that comes up a lot, and, I remember particularly it was New Year's Eve. And we're at this like really, really fancy place that my friend Lena had gotten us into. She lives down in Tulum. And I mean, these people are dropping like $18,000 on bottles of champagne. Like, we were so out of place. I'm there in like a Hawaiian shirt and like shorts. Everyone's in like Gucci suits and like Prada dress, whatever, like it's crazy. And I went up to the bar at one point and there was this guy who's like, give me a bottle of vodka. And so the bartender, who doesn't speak English, he heard vodka, so he puts a bottle of vodka on the counter, and it's Tito's. Are you familiar with? I guess because you don't drink. Tito's is not bad vodka by any means. It's not like the top of the top, but it's definitely not bottom shelf. And the guy's like, no, give me vodka. And so the guy's like, yeah, vodka. And the guy's like, no, dude, you're not understanding me. Like, give me vodka. Like, and because he's so fucking wealthy that he's just like out of touch.
Yeah.
And so I like leaned over to him and I was like, yeah, I mean, that is vodka. It's actually like not bad. So like maybe just calm down. Anyways, that's a whole nother story. But so we're out of like, we're just in this place and it's like a bunch of people that are super, super rich. And people kept asking me, and this is the first time really it's ever happened to me. And it happened like several times in Bali, several times in Tulum. But people asked me, like before they even like introduce themselves, they're like, hey, what's your net worth?
That's just their opener?
That's their opener.
Fluff's like, yeah, about 40,000. What's up?
I was like, God, you're so fucking cringe.
Oh, man. That's funny. What's funny is my wife and I actually had that conversation the other day. We added up. We figured out like, oh, let's like, what is our net worth? And we added shit up. So I'm not going to tell you guys, but
sure,
it was interesting. It was an interesting conversation.
Of tens of hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, it was like $15.
Yeah.
Shit, my stream room's worth more than most people's houses. Shit, what are you talking about?
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Just kidding.
What's your net worth stream room wise?
Wait, what's your Twitch handle?
How many followers?
That's interesting. So what's your net worth? Yeah, you're in the like. I wouldn't fit in there.
No,
there's no way. I would be so annoyed that I don't even know if I could have a good time if somebody asked me that. I'd be like, what?
And it was like, it was kind of awkward because we got in and it was like a really cool event. Like the venue was so cool. And so I'm like, wow, tonight's going to be really fun. And then we quickly realized that everyone had a table. And so we're like, there's three of us. And like, we kind of like gotten in because of our friend. We didn't reserve a table. And these tables are like $3,000 minimum just to like sit.
Why didn't you just tell everybody you were Chris Evans or whatever his name is?
Maybe I should have. Just like, but yeah,
you might have seen me in that Captain America movie. What do you think my net worth's worth? What do you think it is?
But I was just like, oh my God, like this is gonna be a nightmare because everyone's just sitting down, and then it maybe like an hour in, like these people are fucking wasted and like jumping on the table, and it turned out to be like really, really fun. But we definitely did not belong there whatsoever.
It's funny.
Yeah.
All right, guys, you know what time it is. We're going to do some ask the new meta questions.
What the fuck?
What are you doing? Breaking the stuff. I can find the mouse here. Where's my mouse?
What? Lost it. That looks so weird. What is that? Red line. No one. They don't see that, right? What is that?
No, they can't. That's just your move to move the asset. You forget how.
Oh. Okay.
You forget. Fluff can't work OBS. He's been gone too long.
Yeah, I really.
Let's see.
Twitter
questions. Repel says, if you guys had a crystal ball and you could ask it only one thing about yourself, what would you ask?
That's
about yourself. You got to ask yourself the question.
No, you're asking the crystal ball a question about yourself.
Like, what do you mean a question about? Like, I want to ask it a question and know the answer.
Well, I mean, you could ask like, when am I going to die? You could ask,
But I thought that. Oh, I guess I was thinking a magic 8-ball. Yes or no? Okay, my bad. Okay,
yeah.
So it's gonna tell me anything. Okay. I wouldn't want to know when I die. Would you want to know that? There's no way. There's no way I want to know that.
I think I would ask probably, I'm great, like where I am at in life, but I guess I would ask the crystal ball of like, am I on the right path? Like, is this the path like that I'm supposed to be on in my own life? Or is there something like,
what if it says no?
Then I'd be like, I changed some stuff up, right? Like, you don't know what the path is, but obviously you're not on the right path now, so you change the path.
Okay.
But maybe that's kind of a jaded question too, because like maybe my path is like I become like a crackhead and I don't want to go on that path.
You save a life because you're a crackhead. I don't know.
I don't know.
Man, I don't know. I honestly don't know what I would want to know the answer to, because all the good questions, you're like, do you really want to know that?
Yeah.
Like, are my kids going to grow up to be healthy? Like, no. Like, what if you say no? Then you're like, oh shit. Then your life's ruined. Or when am I going to die? You just don't ask those questions.
No. Too morbid. Too dark.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't even have an answer for that. Honestly, I can't think of anything.
What's my net worth gonna be?
Yeah, what's my net worth when I die? It's like zero. Yeah. You're like, shit, man, I go broke somehow. Dead. What do I like? Yeah, so that just it's like setting you up to jinx you. Coda says, what's the craziest thing that happened to you since the last episode? I'm assuming episode of the podcast. And then you have an Amazon story I just noted down from earlier, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, the podcast, if you've been following for a while, like, gosh, what was it? 2016? I was in Ecuador and I got bitten by a cousin of tarantula. It's like the ukulele something. And I almost died from this fucking spider that I had accidentally slept on, apparently. And so this was the first time, this back in Peru in October or September, was the first time I'd returned to the Amazon since I was bitten by the poisonous spider. And I can't make this up. And I was driving the motorcycle and I was crossing a bridge and I feel this intense like heat, sharp pain in my right thigh. And I look down and I fucking shit you not, there's a spider this fucking big on my thigh. And it is just devouring me. And so I'm like, it was like oh my God. It was like the shock of seeing it like was like more than even the bite itself.
Yeah.
It was just like,
you're like just terrifying, right?
And so like I try not to jump too because you move or you jerk on a motorcycle, you're just gonna go down. Yeah. And so I was just like, and so I like flicked it off me as fast as I could. I got a pretty good look at it because it was so like just terrifying. Really, it was such a surprise to look down. Sometimes you just get pains. It's like, oh, maybe get my like leg hair cut.
Yeah, did I touch the exhaust or something? Right, yeah,
something. And like then it's like, and so I pull over, and yeah, sure enough, the thing had bit me. I pull up my pants, and I'm like looking at the bite, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, fuck, like it's literally happened again, and I am at least 13 hours from the nearest like big city. Like we are in the bush. So I'm like, if this is fucking poisonous, like I'm just dead. Like I'm fucking dead. And so I'm like looking down at this bite, and then I had service. We were like 2 minutes from the nearest town because we had just left. We'd gone across a bridge, like a fucking bridge. I still don't understand. There's no trees around. We just drive across this bridge. The spider's just like hanging out on top of this bridge, and it's like I see somebody, and just like and it lands on me.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Anyways, and so I'm obviously like a little scared, and so I start describing the spider to one of the guys this was with, and we're like Googling, and we think when we arrived that it was maybe a hunter spider, which is a very large spider, and the bite hurts a lot. And I mean, it did fucking hurt a lot. And so I was like, well, let's just watch the bite, if it gets bigger, because the bite that I got on my wrist like kept getting bigger, and it like turned kind of gross. And then we'll just play it from here. And then sure enough, like as the day goes on, the bite gets like bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's like, it's not like my leg's not like swollen, but it's like, it's definitely like, whoo, it's getting bigger and bigger. And luckily, nothing happened. It was just a hunter spider, which is not poisonous, but I was just like, oh my fucking God. Like, I'm just going to be like, it's like, oh, holy shit.
I'm going to die in Amazon and nobody's going to know. Yeah, a year from now, I would have been like, "Yo, Fluff, you still alive? Want to do a podcast?" And you'd be like, "No answer." We're like, "Oh,
like, wow, that guy ghosted me. What a dick."
Yeah, where's Fluff at? Like, I don't know. I haven't talked to him. So, craziest thing that's happened to me, man. I don't have anything like close to that. Nothing crazy. So, I work in the tech industry. I work for Microsoft, and they laid off the tech industry as a whole. Has laid off like lots of people. Amazon did 20,000, Google did 16,000, something like that. Microsoft did 10,000, and then we had another wave. So it's been, it's not crazy, but there's been some interest. Like I've seen people that I worked with lose their jobs and stuff, and that sucks.
That's never good. Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. Like some good people. So I'd say that's. I mean, I don't know if that's crazy to me, but that's been a huge kind of looming shadow the last couple months because economy's so screwed up, man. It's affecting lots of people. So, let's see. We have Acres asks, if you get famous and rich, what's something you still won't buy?
Great question. I would never buy like first class plane tickets. I just never would.
Really?
Yeah. Here's the thing is I would pay, like, so say they had, if some billionaire capitalist, like venture capitalists exist in chat, like hit me up, but I would pay, like, how Spirit or whatever, airline will be like, okay, pay a little bit more for like business class or like more leg room, whatever, fuck, right? I would pay like a little bit more money to be like, no fucking kids within like 12 rows of me.
Kids.
100%.
No kids on the plane at all, right?
No kids on the plane at all would be fantastic, but I would pay like a little bit more just to be nowhere fucking,
That's so amazing, man. Oh my God. Yeah, we couldn't be different people because like as long as they're not directly behind me kicking my chair, right? Like I would lose my shit over that.
It's always just the worst kids imaginable on flights. Like,
but I can ignore it. I literally have that, like the dad gene. Like I can just shut it off. Put my headphones. You just need to get some guys earbuds like these that block out everything. I can't hear anything.
I mean, admittedly, it is a trigger. Like any kind of kid noise, I'm just like instantly like, oh my God, shut your fucking kid up. Like I'm awful. Like I know I am, but. I would totally pay. But yeah, one thing I would not buy is like a first class ticket. I can't ever imagine me shelling out the money that this ridiculous price for that first class ticket.
What would I never buy? Oh man. I don't think I would do what's the thing where they bring you food to your house? DoorDash or whatever?
Yeah, stuff like Grub.
Yeah,
all that. Yeah.
Grubhub, no, man. I'll just drive and pick it up.
Really?
Like, I don't know.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't bother me. It does. Like, I see people all the time. Like, so I'm playing WoW, and people are like, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna Grubhub some dinner. What should I get?" Like every night, every night you deliver food to your house. You know how much money you're throwing away? Yeah. Like, I mean, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'd change my mind if I was rich and didn't care, though.
I would do that more, but like for me, like all those services that bring you food, it's always like at least it's around me. It's never like good stuff. It's like, fucking, we'll bring you McDonald's, we'll bring you like Wendy's, like shit that I would never eat anyways. But if they would like bring me like yeah, that's like a great Thai place downtown, I would love to have that delivered to my house. Stuff like that, I would probably do a lot more. But
yeah, when they're getting like McDonald's and Burger King and Taco Bell and stuff like that, and I'm just like,
pay to DoorDash Taco Bell.
Right? Yeah, you just DoorDash Taco Bell, dude. You know what I mean? So that's it. Like, would I DoorDash a nice meal? Probably. Would I DoorDash Taco Bell? Absolutely never. Would I DoorDash Taco Bell?
I would never go to Taco Bell.
I don't know. That's hard. If I thought more about that, I'm sure I'd have a way better answer. But Low C says, if you went to jail, what would your friends think you went to jail for?
Oh, financial fraud. 100%. No question. Tax evasion, something like zero doubt.
I don't know, man. Okay, I'm going to answer this as your friend. I'm going to say, I would think that you would go to jail for some sort of public disturbance / thing, because I would think that you're partying a little too hard and you lost it. You're going a little crazy.
I never slop me. I always have it together.
Streaking, or you do have it together pretty good. I'll give you that. Yeah. But I'm just saying, I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'll answer for you then.
All right, you answer for me.
Murder.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Like, I'm be like, what? PChild's gone. Like, there's no reason in my brain I can think you gone to jail except you murdered someone because they like fucked with one of your kids.
Yeah, 100% would do that.
Boom.
Yeah, I would say if my friends were to think I went to jail, probably for racing would be my answer.
Okay.
My IRL friends.
It was prison. Would you go to prison for racing?
Maybe if I ran from the cops. I don't know. Okay. How fast too, right? I don't know what happens if you get caught doing 140, 150. I'm not sure.
I think you just get your license taken away. I don't think you go to prison.
Well, they'd probably tow your car and take you to jail, I think, right?
Or I guess you could be like, that would also be murder.
Prison. We didn't say prison. We said jail. The question was jail, not prison. No. Yeah, I don't think you go to prison for that. But
no, unless you like accidentally like killed someone going super fast. I guess that would be your other one. That would be number 2 for you.
What's that?
Just going too fast and then like you lose control of your car and then you
that could be. That could definitely
SUV,
be it. Yeah.
Van.
Let's see. Here, let me get my questions back. Rapid says, what skill in real life would you like to master? I think it'd be cool. I don't know. I want to play some kind of musical instrument, whether it's a guitar or a piano. I can't depict between them. I think they both would be very cool. I like to create stuff personally. So I like to draw. I used to digitally paint and do stuff like that. I really like music. I think it'd be cool to be able to play guitar or piano.
Okay.
Either one. And if not that, I would really like to be able to speak a foreign language, but I'm too lazy to actually learn it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this might be going out of the bounds of the question, but like to like master playing tennis and like be amazing. I mean, I'm pretty good.
You want to be a pro? No, that counts.
Yeah,
that counts.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Give me the Roger Federer skills, Yeah,
I mean, Federer is older than us, right?
He's 1 year younger than me, actually.
Oh, is he?
So he's definitely younger than you, dude.
Oh, get out of here. I saw your license, buddy. You can lie to the world, but I saw the truth.
Okay.
One of them was old. Was it Jokovic?
Federer retired, but he's still younger than us.
Jokovic's the basketball player.
Yeah, no, Djokovic is the tennis player.
Oh, is he?
Djokovic, Nadal, Federer, the top 3.
Yeah. Okay.
They're significantly younger than Federer, I think.
Interesting. That's it. That's all the questions we had. Kind of a makeshift. I'm surprised we got anything, considering we haven't done a podcast in 10 years. So is
that a 2 hour?
I don't know.
A 2 hour, dude. 2 hour, 20 minutes.
That's a nice season 2, episode 1 of the new meta.
Indeed.
We'll see episode 184. I don't know. I kind of like the season 2 thing. Maybe we'll start that new convention, that new naming convention.
Maybe.
If soon. I think we'll probably for sure, we haven't literally, Fluff and I have had no conversations.
Zero.
I swear to God, we've had no conversations about the future plans of the pod, like how consistent we're going to be.
We haven't talked.
I think we can agree here that we're definitely going to do another episode after the D4 beta.
Yeah.
Just to like give thoughts and impressions and all this and that. But we'll work out the scheduling. So the best place to keep track of that is on our Twitters. Follow myself at ThaPChild. Fluff is Lord__Fluffy. And
are you streaming tomorrow? I know I am.
I'm going to stream. Yeah, I probably won't stream till the evening.
Okay.
But at least not until I'm off work, right?
Okay.
So it'll be evening time. So.
Okay, dude. Yeah.
Cool. I guess I'll see you guys later.
It's a weird thing too is that we didn't talk the whole time, but it wasn't like fuck that guy. It was like we'll just pick up back up whenever.
Yeah, there was no animosity. I kept telling people, they're like, because people would come ask me, "Where's Fluff at?" And I'm like, "Fuck, I don't know." You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I haven't talked. I literally would answer. I haven't talked to him in months.
Right.
So I have no idea what he's up to.
The worst, I think.
Yeah. And they're like, "Are you going to do another podcast?" And I would go, "Probably someday." Was my answer, because it could, I don't know, we haven't talked, right? It wasn't I think it was just, we were both a little burnt out. I was a little burnt out. I'll speak for myself. I don't know. I was a little burnt out.
Yeah.
And it was starting to feel like a job more than me, a desire to want to do it. It was like, man, I got to do this thing. And then so anytime I had an excuse, I was like, yo, man, I'm doing this. I can't do the pod tonight.
Yeah.
And I think it was kind of like, we could feel that vibe. And so you were like, hey, I got something going on tonight. That's cool. I got something going on next week. And you're like, okay, cool. And that was literally it. We didn't talk. We weren't like, yeah, let's do another pod. We just didn't talk for 6 months.
Yeah. So mine was I think for me, it was a bit more of so for me, it was obviously D3 just running so thin. And honestly, it wasn't even I would be, rank 1 for the first week or whatever the season. It wasn't even challenging anymore. No one was even coming close. So it was just there was that, plus the Diablo Immortal. I mean, honestly, it gave me so little hope for Blizzard. Yeah, and the news that we had at the time on Diablo 4 wasn't promising. So it was fuck. I've been putting all my eggs in this Diablo basket, and it's just not looking good. And I was just fuck. And plus, I was like, I need to travel. Yeah. I need to travel a lot.
The Diablo Immortal pod we did, it was bad. The podcast itself was good, but I think the launch after D4, the news and the direction that we got from that episode didn't match what reality was. Yeah. And I felt we got debated a little bit on that one. Mm-hmm. And it kind of sucks, man. It definitely was this is not what I wanted. Diablo Immortal, to me personally, was everything I expected it to be, which was nothing like I wanted. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. And the D3 content. Yeah. You know what I'll say? I didn't play D3 for a long time, man. I didn't play season 27, maybe even season 26. It had been a solid 6 to 7 months since I even logged in the game. I had a blast. It was only the weekend. I only played Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But I had a really good time playing it. And I think if Diablo 3, if nothing else, is just that weekend game for every 3 months. Every 3 months, I sit down and I play Diablo 3 really hard that weekend. That's cool. So,
hell yeah.
Go with
I am not streaming after this team, and tomorrow I thought it was 2 p.m. for some fucking reason, so I had every intention of being online right when D4 started, but now it's 11. Yeah. Because I can't read good or convert time. Apparently that's just a problem for me.
You can't convert time, so I always double check your math if we ever have a guest on. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just listen, let me make sure.
Anyways,
so I have to convert time literally a billion times a day at my job. I work with people and engineers from East Coast, West Coast, Mountain Time, every time zone, and it's all day, every day. I'm just okay, let me see what time zone you're in. All right, and I just always convert everything to Eastern because for some reason people get Eastern. I'm if I tell them, yeah, I'm Central, Chicago, I'll even put Chicago on there just so they know I'm Central time.
Yeah,
and they'll be like, oh, so what is that again? And I'm just fuck it, man. I just tell people in Eastern now, and they just okay,
probably easier. But either way, you're going to see us Thursday. We'll talk about the beta.
Yeah, we'll do next Thursday as a go, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. Until next time, boys.
Peace.
Peace.